and then somewhere another loss for a 9-2 run of non-conference. And if it's one less than that, I don't think it'll be indictable for anybody. If it's better than that, you're really puffing up RPI and resume and things like that for the selection committee, and then just take care of business in conference, and it'll be that March Madness that this area loves. And when it's that March Madness here, you haven't gotten to experience a big March Madness lately.
Not lately. I was 8 when we went to the national championship. I remember that like it was yesterday. But no, I mean, I remember them playing.
46.
I remember them playing St. Mary's. I remember them playing Michigan State. I mean, I remember the games, but they haven't gone far.
Even in 2009, the Sweet 16 run, that second weekend to me qualifies as run. Here's how it really qualifies as run: when the local news sends the news team to the site of the Sweet 16. And a lot of times it sounds like they're speaking in Mandarin Chinese because they have not covered the team all year and know nothing about it.
Yeah.
But some do, but a lot of them don't. But that when they're doing live hit stand-ups with the news team out at Phoenix or out at San Antonio, that's when the Tigers on a run, and it's electric in this business in doing this. It's so much fun. You can feel it around. It's all anybody's talking about around town, and it's a lot of fun to watch them marching through, and then ultimately to get to a Final Four like they did in 2008, even with the result. I spoke so fondly yesterday of doing that Final Two show on that Sunday afternoon. It was great. It was memory lane. Had a lot of former Tigers and people like that on, and everybody's so happy. And then then the next night was the heartbreak, but that's part of sports. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis. They're at 2600 Ridgeway, and they are online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity August sales event. Great offers on all 2021 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2021 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. And on a day like this, you want that big old air conditioner they have in all those great Lexus cars, because it's a steamer out there today. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com, 901-362-8833. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
My top story, Tiger basketball schedule. When it comes out, it's big. We're waiting for the next reveal. We've been through a lot of it. St. Louis U, kind of the old thing, back to a lot of different conferences with the Tigers and the Billikens. Western Kentucky, I mentioned the payback from last year. We know Rick Stansberry can coach. Tennessee Tech, I remember a Tiger NIT game against Tennessee Tech, I think at the Pyramid one year when Jeff Lebo might have been head coach at Tennessee Tech. But in-state, that's fun enough to do. And John Pelfrey, okay, and that's fine. And then to Brooklyn, and that list of teams, the long-standing games against Ole Miss this year down at the Pavilion in Oxford, Murray State, Alabama, Tennessee, Alabama State. Fun schedule, plenty tough enough for me. No complaints. I wouldn't do a thing. I wouldn't say, well, a little more of this, a little less of that. No, I like it. Well done.
I'm right there with you. Great non-conference schedule, but also on the Tiger front, it's official. Jalen Duren has officially signed with the University of Memphis. So big day for Memphis basketball team, obviously releasing the non-conference.
You weren't sweating it, were you?
No. But it's nice to know that he has put it on the paper. Yeah, absolutely.
Always good to get all the I's dotted and T's crossed, especially with the NCAA.
Absolutely.
Not top story of the day.
I got a couple. One of my not top stories was watching Jimmy Johnson's Hall of Fame speech this last weekend. We'll talk to Bo Marchand about that when he joins us on the NFL. And it made me think that he could have been Belichick before Belichick in full flower if they hadn't had the ugly divorce with Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson. But also watching, I was thinking, if he had just stayed in college, if Jerry Jones had never gotten his hands on the Cowboys from Bum Bright, he was on his way to being Nick Saban then. it did seem like he was a little bored by it and he wanted a bigger challenge. But if he'd never gotten that Cowboys challenge, would it have ended at Miami? Would he have just stayed there? Would the Razorbacks had finally offered him enough money? Would Alabama or LSU or somebody like that come calling for him? But if he stayed in college, he'd have never been there at Canton.
No, he would not.
He'd have never been at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And also another not top story, Zaire Williams, 7 points in the Grizzlies win over the Nets, whatever, glorified spring football. But Desmond Bain with 32. Ooh. My man John Conchar. First of all, why is a preeminent star like that being reduced to having to play in the Summer League?
It's ridiculous.
And he only has 3 points. He's a key cog to the whole Grizzlies' future, according to Grizz Fam and Grizz Twitter. For him to even be playing in the Summer League, I think is an embarrassment on the franchise.
It's insulting, and I think he's not scoring a lot of points because he's trying to save himself for the season.
Yeah. He's checked out.
Yeah. So my not top story of the day is Quinn Ewers. You know who that is?
The Texas quarterback.
Absolutely.
That's committed to Ohio
State. He reclassified to the class of 2021.
He's cashing in on the NIL.
He's cashing in on the NIL. Yesterday, he released a 45-second video for a Texas-based drink company that is going to be his first NIL sponsor. This kid has not even stepped foot on campus in Columbus, Ohio, and he already is making money from.
How much cash you think he's already pocketed?
I don't.
A couple hundred?
Probably.
A couple 100,000?
Oh, I don't know about that yet, but he will.
He will. Did you step onto campus with anything like that? Did you have any NIL deals?
No, I had nothing.
I had an active checking account. That was about it. But I was playing. I want to apologize. Earlier, I misspoke. Called Zaire Williams, Zaire Smith. Mm-hmm. I've done that a couple times. I don't know why in the heck I'm doing that. I'm very sorry for it, and all but inexcusable. Please forgive. I'll really watch it. I've done it a couple of times already since drafting him, and I'm very sorry. Your name's important. You need to get the names right. I'm sorry for making that mistake. 901-360-8255. No mistaking about that. That's the AutoZone phone and text line. Get in the zone at AutoZone. Be a part of this show. We look forward to you being with us from now until 6 o'clock. Get inside, stay cool, and listen to us. And when we come back, we will put a wrap on this year's golf tournament. We'll do it with Daryl Smith. That's next on Sportstime.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy take you through lunch from 10 to 1 weekdays. Only on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Sunrise Buick GMC is having their annual tent sale and the selection or savings are bigger than ever. A huge selection to choose from, big discounts from factory rebates high as $6,000. It's okay if you've got slow credit. Sunrise has over $500 million available for immediate financing with interest low as 0%. An $18 million used car inventory. And remember, Sunrise specializes in cars and trucks under $10,000. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. Savings and fun for all ages. The 33rd annual tent sale going on now at all Sunrise locations. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
For the ones going above and beyond. For the ones reaching out, helping out, and lending a hand. For the ones people count on. You can count on Grainger. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. Backed by 24/7 customer support and specialists to help with hard-to-find products. Because you've got everyone's back. We've got yours. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger. For the ones who get it done.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Hey everybody, it's Rick Earwood, and you know in my day I've bought several homes, and nothing can be more overwhelming and time-consuming than trying to secure financing. Let me steer you in the direction of Tommy Cotham at Bartlett Mortgage. a guy that's been originating loans for 25 years in the greater Memphis area. Tommy does all products, conventional, FHA, USDA, VA. Maybe you're wanting to stay in your home now and just refinance. He can do that as well. So hey, go ahead, give Tommy a call at 901-335-7308. Get your pre-approval so you'll know what you can spend, find your home, and then pack your boxes and get ready to move. It's that easy with Tommy Cotham at Bartlett Mortgage. Call him today at 901-335-7308. Once again, that number, 901-335-7308. Tell him Rick told you to call.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stat. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochin and Brett Norsworthy.
A lot of baseball today, starting with an afternoon game. The Brewers lead the Cubs 4-2, 2 outs in the bottom of the sixth. The Brewers are going to run off and hide with the National League Central. Maybe the Reds can stay within hailing distance to make it somewhat of a competitive September, but it might be the Brewers' year, and the Cubs, with what their ownership did to them, it really left those great fans without anything the rest of the year. And they've probably had a lot of pre-sale on tickets, but 17 baseball games today. We'll keep an eye on all that. We'll catch up with Daryl Smith and talk about the WGC FESJI from last weekend. We know the champ, and we know the PGA Tour this week with the last stop before on to the playoffs. This time next year, we'll be part of the playoffs, and we look forward to that for sure. Look, at 4 o'clock, we visit with Brent Beard, and we will talk with him on a lot of subjects, but also Brent has covered through the years Coach Bobby Bowden very closely, and deep man of faith himself, Brent Beard is. We'll talk with him about Coach Bowden and his passing and that legacy that he's left. All the stories out there, just remarkable for his life, his years at FSU, and what he built Florida State into. Around here, we can remember when the Tigers were playing Florida State a lot of those years, and they were on a level playing ground with FSU, and we know where Florida State went to, and they went to the elite. And in that stretch, there were a lot of years there that people were trying to make the Metro into a football conference, and Florida State resisted it. It was kind of Bobby Bowden that really blocked that. And that would have been some football conference. That would have had Georgia Tech and the Tigers and Virginia Tech and South Carolina and a lot of other teams in there with the Tigers for football in those years. And Bobby Bowden was really resistant to that, and it never happened. But the story's all so good this week about him and his legacy. We'll visit with Brent about that at 4 o'clock. The college football poll, it is out. And no surprise with Alabama being at the top. Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Oklahoma 3, Ohio State 4. Couldn't you just kind of copy and paste that for most of the last 10 years or so? At least 5. Georgia number 5, Texas A&M 6. Bryant, you stop me when somebody really doesn't belong. Texas A&M 6, Notre Dame 7, Iowa State with possibly the best quarterback-tailback combo in college football this year at 8. Number 9, North Carolina. Number 10 from the AAC, Cincinnati. Deserved.
Yeah.
Might even could say Cincinnati could be 1 or 2 pegs above Iowa State, North Carolina.
Yeah.
But at 10 Cincinnati, 11 Florida. 11 Florida. Any bells? 11 Florida.
They're ringing faintly, but I don't know.
Okay, way down the hall?
Yeah.
Number 12, Oregon. Number 13, LSU. Number 14, USC. Number 14, USC. Number 14, USC.
I mean, yeah. I would maybe even say Oregon is a little too high.
You could. You sure could do that.
They'll have a really good defense. Quarterback situation is kind of ugly up there.
Yeah, it is. And Number 15, Wisconsin. Greg Gaston's annual shot at Wisconsin that they do get a lot of cred, and they do in both sports. 16, Miami. 16, Miami.
That's a little high.
17, Indiana. 17, Indiana.
I love Indiana.
Okay.
I love their team.
I love Tom Allen.
Yeah.
Number 18, Iowa. I think way too low for Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
I know Gabe and I did our way too early around 4th of July, which is way too early, our top 10. I had Iowa 10, and I had Iowa State 8.
Yeah.
Number 19, Texas. There you go.
Yeah.
That's more than bells ringing.
Yeah.
Is that fire alarms?
Close to it, yeah.
Number 20, Penn State. 21, Washington. At this point, you're really going to fight over them. 22, Oklahoma State. 23, Louisiana. That's Billy Napier's Raging Cajuns. ULL, Southwest Louisiana. A lot of different names, but a good football team. And they open against Texas.
Yeah, and that'll be a really good game and a really good test for Texas.
24, one of the stories of last year, on the field and on the fly, getting the game with BYU, Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers. And 25, Ole Miss, 149 votes. 1 vote shy of 24, if you want to get mad over where Ole Miss fell. Others receiving votes, if you go all the way out, 26 would be Utah and then Northwestern. Arizona State, waiting for NCAA rulings. I saw Herman Edwards at the Hall of Fame ceremony on television all weekend. Then Auburn. Who voted for Auburn? Liberty, BYU, TCU, Michigan, UCF, NC State, Boise State, Kentucky, San Jose State, Army, Virginia Tech, Mizzou. Mizzou's my dark horse team in SEC this year.
Oh, yeah.
UCLA, Pittsburgh, Tulsa. Tulsa had a good season last year.
Tulsa did have a good season.
Got to the AAC championship game, did they not?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Boston College, Ball State, Houston, 5 votes.
Oh, wow.
That's the person that writes in Pat Paulson for president. SMU 4, Appalachian State 4, West Virginia 4, Arkansas 3. Arkansas got a vote to win the West at the SEC Media Days.
Did they really?
They sure did.
Wow.
UAB 3, Nevada 2, Air Force 2 votes, Mississippi State 2 votes, Marshall, FSU, California, and Stanford 1 vote each. So that big rivalry, California and Stanford, only 1 vote for them out there in the preseason. Arkansas did get 1 vote to win the West, and 1 year, and I didn't do it. I know who does it, and I know why he does it, and it's his business. That's fine. But a friend of mine that goes to SEC Media Days with a distinct Ole Miss tie, he always and he didn't go this year, so he didn't vote. But he always votes not only Ole Miss to win the West, but to win the SEC championship game. And every year after he logs that vote, everybody down there comes around me going, "Did you do that? Did you vote?" I did not. I'll show you my ballot. I hope they have a great year, but I didn't do that. But that's okay. That's his vote. So this year, I wanted to go around to the Arkansas guys with the same aggressive tone that they came after me 1 year, because that was at the height of the Houston Nut hatred and all that with them. But Arkansas not winning the West.
No.
But somebody, you can vote however you like. I don't care. And I'm not going to run around and try to find out how everybody else voted. My SEC vote, I don't really like voting that early and being and I talked about my vote on there, but it was lightly shaded pencil. We're getting close to having to decide. I think to win right now in the West, I have a 3-team tie, and I don't know how they settle it. Well, it was explained to me, but it was so confusing I can't explain it to you, and because I don't understand it. But I have A&M with a loss, their loss coming to LSU. I have LSU with a loss, their loss coming to Alabama, and I have Alabama with a loss, with their loss coming to Texas A&M. Those 3 teams going 11-1. Those 3 teams going 7-1 in the league. I think it then goes to percentage. Your winning percentage in the West would be the same, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And then down to a coin toss by the commissioner. And that's what I want to get down to. Wouldn't that be great SEC network programming?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
The coin toss by the commissioner. And I do think those 3 teams, now, when I did those wins and losses, that was before the Miles Brennan injury. But I love Max Johnson in there. But so I think my vote ended up being, I think I just took the powder in the Alabama vote down there because I don't know how they sort it out. But that's a pretty strong 1, 2, 3 in the West. So we agreed that maybe Florida a little high, maybe Oregon a little high. But you got to fill in the teams, and how much does it really matter? After week 1, that will be
preseason rankings 0. They do not matter at all.
They mostly don't. And in college basketball, not only the preseason rankings don't matter, the AP poll the week of Selection Sunday doesn't matter.
No.
Selection Sunday matters everything in college basketball. I don't know. Unless it's good, I don't know why we put the emphasis we do on any of the polls for college basketball because it's largely and mostly unnecessary. We're trying to catch up with Darryl Smith from the golf tournament. He is trying to catch up with us. He said he answered twice and nobody was there. So we will catch up with Darryl now from the WGC FESJI. He is executive director of the golf tournament and coming off a most successful year this year and looking forward to the future with the playoffs starting next year. It'll be this week. 52 weeks from now, we'll be really busy and getting ready to head out to TPC Southwind. But this year we talk about the tournament, but right now we talk about this year and the tournament we just completed. Darryl, thank you for catching up with us. I promise you we were trying to catch you, no problems whatsoever. Congratulations on a job well done in a very challenging year.
Well, appreciate that, Brett. It feels good to be 2 days after the tournament, and just to look back and see what last week brought to our city, and to have the 48 of the top 50 players in the world here at Southwind, battling it out for 4 days, and I thought the day would have happened like it did, but what an unbelievable finish, unbelievable competition. It just felt so good to get back to some sense of normalcy this year, and we're looking forward to 2022.
Darryl, Sunday rolling along. It looked like it was going to just be another birdie barrage, maybe too good of a score for the winner, somebody maybe at 22, 23, and then golf happened.
Exactly. I mean, going into Sunday, it had a little bit more of a breeze. And then, that back nine at Southwind is, you got 2 par 3s and 11 and 14 that wind can jump up and make a huge impact. So the back nine on Sunday, the golf course showed a lot of teeth, and the 3 prior days prior to that, it was absolutely perfect conditions from a golf course perspective, and then had unbelievable weather, dry, not a hint of wind. And, I think we all lose sight a little bit, or at least I did, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. These guys are the best players in the world. And when they're out there playing on a golf course that was in that great of condition with very little outside influence as it relates to weather, that they're going to put up some great scores. And I think it really just speaks volumes to the level of play that is on the PGA Tour now. But it also speaks volumes to TPC Southwind and what a great golf course it is. It
really is, Darryl. All the things that you can control, that you can kind of determine how it plays out tournament week, the play on the course, you have nothing to do with that. You can't dictate that, nor the staff with the setup. So the things that you controlled, how well did kind of the inner workings of that go, as opposed to 2 years ago when it was a lot more fans than last year?
Yeah, we were. I would tell you that everything went fairly smooth. We were, of course, we kind of had to shake the cobwebs out a little bit earlier in the year. Just hey, we had a tournament last year that didn't have fans, and you do realize that you get out of rhythm really quick when you have a tournament without fans. And so getting fans back and get us back into the rhythm of producing a golf tournament that is for the general public and for people to come on site to experience, it took a little bit of time. But it did go smooth. I mean, there's so many external factors that can change the success of a tournament. And a lot of that depends on a word that starts with the letter W and weather. And to have dry conditions all week and to have fans on site, and not have to deal with any type of suspensions of play, that made everything smoother. Of course, we're not back to the same levels that we hope to be back to. We had the ability to do that this year with no restrictions to Shelby County. But we're also still very cognizant that we're right here in the middle of a pandemic still. And we did not expect to have 2019 numbers. But we feel like this past week was a great step in the right direction. And it feels good to put it back into motion, just the things that you do on a daily basis to welcome people back on site at Southwind.
Daryl, it did feel good. I thought crowds Thursday and Friday were really good, and then Saturday and Sunday just extraordinary, and mindful of the world we live in, and we're not free of the pandemic, not even close. We're back in the throes of it, the teeth of it. Daryl, you may have just got in under the wire having the event. I don't think SEC Media Days could be held this week in this climate.
Yeah, I agree with you, Brett. I mean, I think our timing and having the tournament last week, I know if we were, say, if we fast forward and we were having the first FedEx Cup playoff event, or if we were a late season event, there would be a lot more data to be considered right this second. Yeah. And not to slight the fact that we didn't think about all that stuff going into this tournament and the different things that were at play. But, you know, we're last week still made me realize, not that I had forgotten, but we're still in the middle of this. And, you know, we need to do everything we can to ensure that we can have events like we had last week in this community, and really across the country. I spent some time with the commissioner yesterday or 2 days ago, and, you know, we really need sustained consistency across the board. So, you know, it would be great that if we're able to have a tournament that looks more similar to 2019 and Tiger football and Tiger basketball and the Memphis Grizzlies and, you know, so on and so forth are able to conduct their seasons in a similar fashion, because I think that is where we're going to be feeling that everybody is back and at a healthy level. So I'm hopeful that our community will be able to continue to have events like this, because when you spend a week out on the golf course like we just had, you realize how impactful and how memorable weeks like this are for our community.
Daryl Smith, our guest from the WGC FESJI. He's executive director. And Daryl, I know you look at all the players equally. You can't play favorites. Very proud of our champion, Abraham Answer. However it falls out, we would be proud of our champion. But Harris English, I know he's popular with a lot of people around town, both during the golf season and out of season. I know he likes to come back here and hunt in this area. And Sunday, a lot of the timing issues, I think, really got to him, but it also showed he will always be a factor at TPC Southwind.
Yeah, it was a tough, you know, it's a tough thing to watch any golfer, you know, that, you know, has a tournament in control, and, you know, to see them falter. You never want to see someone who's been playing the best golf that they've played in a long, long time, and, you know, run into a situation and run into an experience like Harris did. You know, one thing about Harris is that, you know, he won our event in 2013. He came back for a media day that following year. And as you just mentioned, he was in town last December, and, you know, him and I went down to the rendezvous and caught up and, you know, ate some ribs and did all that stuff. But when Harris missed that last putt on 18 to potentially get in that playoff, and as he's exiting that green, I mean, he's smiling, waving, doing everything he can for those fans that were there.
Good guy.
And you know, I think that's an example of a really exceptional person. You know, he just had been dealt. You know, I can't imagine what he was feeling. Reached out to him that night and just said, "Hey, buddy, hang in there and keep your head up. You made a lot of people in Memphis proud this week." And of course, his first response back is how great of an event that we put on. Nice. And so Harris will be back. He'll be back at Southwind. You know, he's a top player in the world. I'm hopeful that he'll be on a Ryder Cup team later this year. And I think that when he comes back to Southwind, he'll always have good vibes, because that was where his first PGA Tour career win was. I know he wishes he could take back that back nine last Sunday, but it was good to have Harris back in a World Golf Championship. But, you know, spending a little time with Abraham Answer, what a phenomenal player. absolutely so humble in his win and his victory. Spent some time with us afterwards, and just, man, when you get to do that and spend some time with some of these players, you realize how fortunate the PGA Tour is to have these athletes. Abraham Ancer has had a lot of close calls, and to be able to say that he's our champion is a very prideful moment for us, and we look forward to watching his continued success.
Daryl, thank you is incomplete from all of us here at WHBQ and from all the golf fans in the area for how you handle yourself and your responsibilities and how that tournament mixes and mingles with everyone in the community. Top shelf event. I tell you all the time that your event and the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, my two favorites from way back, from childhood to now, and I think the future is so bright. But thank you so much for all that you do for this sporting community and this golf tournament. Thank you, Daryl.
Well, I appreciate that, and we just it's Memphis's golf tournament. It'll always be Memphis's golf tournament, and it's all of us make it such a huge success. But appreciate all y'all's work and support, and we look forward to the future.
One more story, I promise, to a complete stranger. I didn't know her. She didn't know me. We just kind of met on – we're walking. I'm going toward one green. I'm going toward the pit, Daryl. That's where I was going. I was going toward one green, and she's coming back on the cart path. And just to have conversation, I said, boy, isn't the weather delightful? She said, you can thank Phil Cannon for that. I swear she did. Thank Phil Cannon for that. And unsolicited, I don't have a clue who it was, and I thought, how neat was that?
Yeah, I mean, it's we got a lot of people watching over us, that's for sure. A lot of people that have impacted the tournament at a great level, and far more than I have, and far more than a lot of people ever will. And it's and that's what makes it special. It makes it so special to Memphis that we have had this tournament now for 60 plus consecutive years playing professional golf in Memphis, Tennessee, and every single year it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. And, that goes back to prior to becoming a WGC and then our next chapter. It seems like every year, we've run out some tough times before, but this tournament will always continue to flourish because of the people of Memphis and the people that have poured their heart and souls into the event to make it successful.
We'll keep it going. Daryl, you know where I am if you need me. I look forward to seeing you around town. Thank you so much. We will visit again soon.
Thank you, Brett. Bye.
Daryl Smith with the WGC FVSJI. He's executive director, and exemplary job from all of them at the tournament. We take this break, round out hour number one. You're listening to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Wendy's only makes one kind of breakfast, your new favorite one. How do we do it? With fresh cracked eggs, oven-baked bacon, and flaky croissants. The things your old breakfast wasn't doing. So toss that old news and its soggy eggs somewhere useful. And get to Wendy's, where the sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, bacon, egg, and Swiss croissant, and honey butter chicken biscuit are just 2 for $4. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $4.
Limited time only. Single item at regular price. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's.
Is your bank standing in the way of you and your sportsbook? Try Action 24/7. We're cutting out the middleman. Deposit or withdrawal in cash. No more bank delays or failures. Action 24/7 has more than 100 partners in Tennessee for cash deposits and withdrawals. Visit Action247.com for a location. Cash deposits and withdrawals from your Tennessee sportsbook. Action247.com. You got action.
Must be 21 or older and in Tennessee. For problem gambling support, call 800-889-9789.
Cypress View Golf and Recreation is proud to announce an amazing event happening August 14th. We are bringing in Glow Vibe Golf to run a nighttime tournament that will be unlike any seen in the area. Please visit cypressviewgolf.com and look at a short video of what to expect. Entry fees are $65 per player and include dinner with barbecue, beans, potato salad, and a drink, and 2 glow balls per player. Additional glow balls will be available to purchase on site. Come see why Cypress View Golf and Recreation is known as the best country club in the Mid-South.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
We like to party. Closing down to the 4 o'clock hour, we would talk college football with Brent Beer, and as I said, we would get a lot of Coach Bobby Bowden stories from him and what he built at Florida State, and really how parallel a lot of those years the Tigers were to FSU when he first got there, and he was resistant to a metro in football, or that would have really propelled the Tigers in those years. Virginia Tech through most of the 70s, playing in and around same neighborhood with the Tigers. Tigers were way ahead of them at that time. A lot of their success to Frank Beamer, but the Tigers have now gotten it right. And at 4:30, we'll go through their schedule for the most important to least important. Yesterday we did hardest games to easiest. Today we will do most important to easiest. And no, I'll tell you now, spoiler alert, I do not have Mississippi State 1 and wouldn't if it was Ole Miss or Tennessee on the schedule.
No.
For a simple reason. Conference.
Yeah.
It matters. And the AAC, really good. I know Tiger fans don't need my blessing of the conference they're in, but I've said it because I mean it, and I want to be candid. The AAC is the first conference the Tigers have ever played in that when I'm out on a Saturday afternoon, wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, I'm interested in the other teams in the AAC. I'm sorry, I never could get interested in CUSA. Back when I was a little fellow, when they were in the Valley, honestly, I didn't know they were in the Valley, except for basketball. Really knew that and loved it back then, and much bigger Tiger basketball fan, and I am now than I am football. But I've always been interested, and I've always been a fan since 1970. Skeeter Gowan, my first favorite player, number 20. Long before a guy from Wynn, Arkansas was number 20, D'Angelo Williams. But at least in the AAC now, you can look around and you want to know what the score of the Tulane Navy game might be, or Houston and SMU. And got to figure out or is it SMU and TCU? They play for something. I want to say they play for a pan or a skillet or something like that.
They play for something. I don't know what it is.
Is it the Iron Skillet?
I'm going to have to look that up.
They play for something like that in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But I'm interested in knowing the out-of-town scoreboard for the AAC, and I just never had been before this league. I love what Mike Oresco's done, except for all that around late February and early March, but we're trying to move on. We're going to move on to hour number 2 and a lot of college football talk with our friend Brent Beard. 901-360-8255 at the AutoZone phone and text line. Get in the zone at AutoZone. We want you to be a part of it. You're listening to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
For years, I have talked to you about James Davis, the finest men's store in all of Memphis, the service, the selection, everything that goes with quality. And I've told you recently about the Stant Perfect Fit shirts. Well, now there's the Stant Perfect Fit pants. Absolutely amazing. Only 2 measurements fed into a computer, and all of a sudden, you've got the perfect fit pants. I'm talking everywhere. The leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body absolutely perfectly. And there's 80 different fabrics to choose from. You will find the right look, the right fit, almost instantaneously. They start at $162, but you will never find a better pair of pants than these at James Davis Men's Store. And the shirts are still there, and guess what? It's the only place in Memphis that you can find Stant. That's the James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
Hey, if you're hungry for great Mexican food for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, got it. La Guadalupana. Guadalupana. Choose from tacos, burritos, enchiladas, sizzling shrimp, beef, or chicken fajitas, and even a Cuban sandwich filled with Mexican sauces, chicken, ham, steak, jalapenos, avocado, and more. How about super nachos topped with melted cheese, beans, sour cream, guacamole, tomato, and jalapenos? All great with nice cold beer, domestic and imported. Good prices, generous portions, great service at 2 locations, Summer Avenue and Cordova Road. La Guadalupana.
The Tigers are back to 100% capacity. We want you to be a part of it. Your Tiger football team opens the season against Nicholls State Saturday, September 4th and 6th. And the rest of the schedule features SEC opponent Mississippi State, Navy, SMU, and more. Season tickets for all 7 home games start at just $99. To lock in your seats for all the action, call 901-678-2331 or visit GoTigersGoTix.com.
Napa know-how.
Right now, a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic motor oil is just $18.99. It keeps your engine from breaking down without breaking the bank. Yep, a 5-quart jug of Napa full synthetic for $18.99 is not just a great deal. It's the break you've been waiting for. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations does not include state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Advertised sales price may not be available in some states. Offer ends 8/31/21.
Regions Bank presents Brad Paisley live at the Garden Friday night, August 13th at Radiance Amphitheater at Memphis Botanic Garden. Gates open at 6, show starts at 7:30 p.m. with special guests Jimmy Allen and Cameron Marlowe. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster.com. Go to liveatthegarden.com for more information. Also presented by Duncan Williams, AutoZone, Gossett Motors, True Green, Pro Show, and Mahaffey Events.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pin, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time, as simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
Our most vulnerable veterans are isolated at hospitals. And during their greatest time of need, their loved ones can have little or no contact with them. Imagine having to shelter in place forever. Learn how you can help at healvets.org. Help Heal Veterans, with the support of citizens like you, is making things better together. Learn more at healvets.org. This message is furnished by Help Heal Veterans, a not-for-profit organization.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Ocean and Brett Norsworthy.
Thank you very much, Brian Dacus. You're listening to Sports Time. You got Bryant, you got Brett. No Dave, he's away this week. No Gabe, he's away this week. They'll both be back next week. I love this build-up, this run-up to college football and to the NFL. We're through the golf tournament, so we're really closing in on college football talk. Got a lot of Tiger basketball talk. We'll get back into the schedule release of the non-conference games. I think it's most attractive with 3 SEC opponents. No Georgia. I was surprised by that. I thought they would be part of the schedule, and it doesn't look like anything is particularly unless the Alabama game is dedicated to SEC AAC Challenge. Is it designated that?
I don't know.
Just a scheduled game.
I think it's just a scheduled. I think I heard it's just a scheduled game, but I'm not positive.
I hate that we may have lost that because that's what Georgia was a part of, and the Tigers were due to go to Georgia last year on the fly. It got it got canceled, and it was supposed to be made back up this year. But we'll look more at the Tiger schedule. But I like this time of year, the run-up to college football, or as I like to call it, the time of the year where everybody's undefeated and hope springs eternal with the season ahead. I like the happy talk. The polls out today, whether you should belong, whether you'll be there at the end of the year or not, what does it matter? It's a good, fun day. I don't think many rest on the laurels of that. I bet Nick Saban doesn't take a whole lot of delight out of being preseason number one. He much prefers being the number one at the end of the year. As Gene Stalling said in the pregame pep talk against mighty Miami that year, he said the only poll that matters is the poll they release after this game, and his team went out and put one on the mighty U that day. It's the only one that matters, but it's fun conversation. Fun conversation every Tuesday afternoon is Brent Beard, our friend from down in Jacksonville. He joins us now. And, Brent, we want to start with the big college football story, the fun, solemn but respectful and mostly and entirely happy goodbye to Coach Bobby Bowden.
Well, we will miss him. He was just legendary here, and certainly we've heard so many different stories over the last few days, but it was a pleasure to cover him, Brad. Listen, we would be at Doak Campbell in the night game. It was well after midnight, and he would have more energy than we did. Just amazing man of faith, the way he really was able to treat people, I think, is a thing that you hear over and over again, which, frankly, is so refreshing, a lot of that because of his faith. But he came here to Clay County on many occasions, and we were able to cover him. He was gracious with his time. And just, Brent, the stories of how he almost went to Alabama twice, the stories of, amazingly, how he nearly went to Marshall and LSU and stayed at Florida State, and basically just months later, you had the horrible Marshall plane crash, that the whole team was lost, and then Bo Ryan was hired instead of Bowden wanting that or taking that job, basically, and he went down in a plane crash. And Bobby said to Matt Hayes, who wrote that article talking about both these situations, that could have been me, and when I tell you I'm blessed, that I mean it. So Brady was blessed. He blessed a whole lot of other people, didn't he?
He sure did. He left a sport much better than he found it. Yep. In those two times, one time, the first time, the late 80s, he wanted Bama, and they didn't take him. The second time, they wanted him, and he didn't take them. That's correct, isn't it?
That is exactly what happened. People don't realize that. And the first time when he interviewed at Alabama, he did not think it was going to be an interview, instead that it was. And at the end of the interview, he expected them to offer him that job, but they did not. They made a lot of mistakes at Alabama at that point, and that was one of them. But in fairness, that was before he went on that great run at Florida State that he had. And the second time, Hootie Ingram, who was at Florida State with him, actually called him and offered him the job, but his reply, Brett, was something that you would expect. He said, if I'm going to Alabama, I'm replacing Bear Bryant. If I stay at FSU, I can be my own Bear Bryant, and that's what he did. Now, Brett, think about this a minute. Top 5 from 87 to 2000, I've often wondered, much less an expanded 12-team playoffs, my stars, how many national championships, Brett, could they have won if they would have even had a 4-team playoff active and going from 87 to 2000?
Easy 2 more.
Yeah.
Easy 2 more. And probably he coached the best defensive back to ever play the sport, Deion Sanders, and best return guy.
He did. But I mean, my goodness gracious, the talent that came out of there, the Derek Brooks and all the Peter Tom Willis and
Peter
Danny
Warwick,
Pinnell and
Chris Winkie,
Peter Warwick, yes,
Warwick Dunn,
just an unbelievable amount.
William Floyd,
and Floyd was one of those. Leroy Butler, who was on the punt Ruski against Clemson.
Coach Terrell Buckley at Ole Miss at FSU.
So many people that he knew. Great quote from Tommy Bowden, his son. He said his defense played like the Old Testament, and he talked like the New Testament. How about that, Brett?
He played a swashbuckling style. He'd go anywhere on the road. Took the program into road games, big paychecks, big wins, big glory, and built a program that way. In that Alabama, that first dance with Alabama, that was Joab Thomas, if I remember it right. And
Correct.
And he was big because there was some the rumors of stuff going on, and he wanted somebody just with the cleanest and purest of backgrounds and reputations, and that's how Bill Curry got it.
Well, and Galen McCullough was also on that committee, which along with Joab, and that's who you're exactly right. They were looking for someone of that ilk, and that's the reason they got Bill Curry. And listen,
hire a Bobby Dodd player, because Bobby Dodd and Coach Bryant didn't do well.
No. That would be an understatement, would it not? And listen, in his own right, now he couldn't beat Auburn, but I don't always throw the bathwater out with the baby out with the bathwater with Curry. There were some decent things that Curry did, but and without having a whole lot of revisionist history here, the thing to me that always epitomized Bill Curry was losing to Memphis 13-10 at Memphis, and then the following week coming back to Birmingham with Jeff Dunn as the quarterback in beating Tennessee. That was ranked in the top 5 in the country.
Trust me, Tiger fans delighted in both results.
I know they did. So, but Brett, if anything epitomized Bill Curry and the EKG that was his tenure at Alabama, that was a great example of it.
Yeah, the consistency or lack thereof, and they just knew that they could do better. So then Curry's out, and they're looking for a coach, and that's when Hootie Ingram offered it to Bobby Bowden. He turned it down. He stayed, built his massive legacy at FSU. Bama hired Gene Stallings. 1990 started rough and tumble, but it got good. And now the Bobby Bowden saying I'm going to stay at FSU because I'm really replacing Bear Bryant. Won't that really be the math? Won't that be the equation for Dabo to leave Clemson someday if Mama called?
Very possibly. That's a really good point. That now again, I still continue to hear that whether he comes or not, a lot of Alabama people will tell you very quickly they at least need to call him, right, Brett? And give him the opportunity to be able to do it.
I think you got to get an official no, but at what point, if it's 4 or 5 years from now, will he still be the soup of the day?
Well, that's a great point. It will they have taken a step back and look what Dabo has accomplished.
And by that point, Dabo's approaching 60.
He certainly will
in 4 or 5 years.
And at that point, would Dabo be the hot coach that he is right now? Or will some of these Saban proteges have really come into their own?
I was going to say acolyte, but I don't think Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian's ever been called an acolyte.
And you also wonder, Brad, by then, will a Billy Napier be ready for a job like that? A guy that
sure
he hadn't got that job yet, that he's looking for. But you remember, like I did, a lot of people were looking at Napier last year, weren't they, Brett?
Well, a lot of people have taken swings and had big misses with him over the last couple of years.
They have.
Just where if he'd have just said, "I won't name the SEC job that's opened in the last 2 or 3 years," I think he could have vaulted up a list,
yeah.
and he's passed on it. That will be someday, and it'll also be interesting at that time, whether it's 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now, whenever Coach Nick Saban steps aside. Will they bring him in and let him have a big role in naming a successor, or will they block him out and just do what they want to do by whomever the AD is or whatever search committee they have?
I think at this point he would have to have some say-so in that. It may already be. And again, does he even know when it's going to be? People ask me from time to time, what will be the key that he's ready to go and it's time to step aside? And my answer is Brett, when those recruiting classes go from being number 1 to being like number 12, at that point you'll know something's up.
Yeah, you will. Barrett Jones has consistently said, as long as he's recruiting at this level and it's showing no slowdown, why not? If you want to, health and all that good stuff. Does turn 70 on Halloween during this football season. Brent, the next question I'm going to ask you, I can't stand when I hear somebody else ask it, so I don't know why I'm going to do it. But today, for the USA Today poll, next week when AP's released, it's going to look very similar. Copy and paste, Bama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Ohio State. I'm going to ask, is that good for college football? And every time I hear it, I scream at the radio at the person that asks, is it good for college football? Because it's almost that implication there of Bama, Clemson, Oklahoma, and Ohio State. They need to work to get bad to make college football interesting, and that's not their job. That's not their responsibility.
No. It's funny.
So I asked that dumb question. You answer it more smartly than I ask it,
please.
Well,
and it's funny you said that because I was thinking about that question yesterday, and this is how I'm going to answer it. I heard Tom Luginbill for ESPN, a recruiter, say this probably about 3 to 5 years ago. Tom said Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and he may have had Georgia in there too. What he said was those schools made a decision that they were going all out for football and that it was going to cover from the president down to the custodial staff. And eventually it would have a trickle-down effect with other sports. And my question to that is, and as I was thinking about that, what came up was, well, it's not so much that you've got to wait on all these guys to retire. The issue is going to be, can these other schools who are heading up maybe upwards toward that rarefied air one day, can they hire their own Nick Saban type guy and totally commit to him and totally commit to the football program and be able to do something similar? So, Brent, I tend to go a little bit more with what Tom said years ago as I've have kind of marinated on that thought a little bit. The schools that are able to do that, and maybe we're talking about a guy like, I'm just going to use Billy Napier as an example. There are some guys, and you'll understand this well as anybody, that there are some schools that hire guys just to be a football coach for, say, 3 to 5 years and to kind of fix your program. Well, you've got other guys, and Billy Napier is one of these guys that I've always heard, I'm curious if you have too, is he is a program builder. He starts from scratch, and it's a slow process, but he's a 10 to 15 year guy with somebody like a Saban has been, who can build this thing up into a powerhouse. So I think, Brent, more than having the guys on top retire, it's who are you going to get in the meantime and make a commitment to them.
Because a lot of people's they've been waiting a while now for Nick Saban to retire, and he's not going anywhere. Dabo's not going anywhere. Ohio State had to go through the change from Meyer to Day, and they've done it seamlessly. OU had to go through the change from Big Game Bob to Lincoln Riley. They've done it pretty seamlessly. Georgia from Mark Richt to Kirby Smart, pretty good. In the SEC, who do you think is the closest? And we know they're at the quarter pole, and Bama's almost at the finish line. Who's the closest to catching Alabama? Is it Georgia?
Yeah, well, I think right now you would have to say that it will be Georgia, because Georgia has been in a national championship game with
really
them.
Close.
And Georgia has been won a division and won an SEC championship.
Won a Rose Bowl.
Now, my question to you, Brett, is Jimbo ready to jump into that rarefied air, if you can say that?
Well, they're paying him for rarefied
Georgia.
air. They're paying him for rarefied air. He's not.
Aren't they?
He's not being paid. And last year was a spectacular year. They win the Orange Bowl. They beat North Carolina, beat Coach Mack Brown, and the natural arc of improvement for them in the ACC. Who's supposed to be nipping at Clemson? Who's supposed to catch them? Mike Norvell and FSU.
Well, I would. Naturally, some people would say, well, is it Miami's turn to do that? I don't think they're there yet, and I don't know if they've got the coach in order to do that, to be honest with you. Now, you can, for the immediate, okay? The immediate, you can almost say Mack Brown. But you and I both know, Brett, is Mack Brown going to be there in 5 years?
Yeah.
I think that's a great question. I do think Mike Norvell is going to be having a much better program, but will Mike be given enough time, Brett, to do what he wants to do is a question I wonder too.
And the successor or the team to knock off Ohio State, when he was hired, we were all thinking Jim Harbaugh. You can't seriously answer that question with Michigan.
No.
So is it James Franklin in Penn State who knocks off Ohio State? Who derails that? I don't think the staying power, great job he's done, but I don't think year in and year out Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern can. I don't think Tom Allen year in and year out at IU can. Great jobs. They're doing fantastic work. Wisconsin, they're consistently good, but do they knock them off? Knock them off for good? I don't think so. Ohio State, they might have more staying power in the Big Ten than Clemson in the ACC.
Well, they might, because no one is really rising from that area. Now, I'll give you a couple of guys, Brad, that I think we need to keep our eye on. One is Mario Cristobal at Oregon because of the way that he can recruit.
Well, he's building the Bama. He's building the Bama building.
Yeah. And listen, who in the country wouldn't want that Thibodeau kid, Brad, the defensive end who causes so much havoc? And I do wonder, Brett, could Luke Fickell be one of these guys that we're talking about? Now, he's done a great job at Cincinnati. We know he's probably obviously looking at other things. But Ryan Day's not leaving Ohio State anytime soon, I don't think. Do you?
No, and we heard the Lincoln Riley leaving OU for the pros. He didn't, and now I don't think he will, because I think he wants to take a shot at the SEC. I think he wants to take it on the road to Baton Rouge and Starkville and Oxford and Tuscaloosa and Knoxville and Athens and all points in between.
Well, and listen, let me also add what's very obvious in my backyard. Will Dan Mullen be able to get up to the next level? But and they have shown a lot of promise. He can do about anything with a quarterback. But, Brett, the real question that even comes from his fan base is he seemingly really does not like to recruit. It's not his favorite thing to do like it is.
Boy, he liked to recruit in Mississippi and did it well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So So, and the big question here among Gator fans, and brother, I hear it every day, is are they ready to get to that next level? Which, I mean, the level they are right now is not bad. And we've said this about him forever. We know what the basement is, don't we, Brett? But how far up is the ceiling?
Well, you don't have to do a whole lot of recruiting at Florida, but you have to do some. You have to at least fake that you like it, and he doesn't. He does.
No,
I don't know that many of them really like it. A lot of them are really good fakers that they have to act like they like it. Last thing, for our friend Brent Beard, we talk college football with him every Tuesday at this time. So at SEC Media Days, now we got plenty of distance from it. Anything on the eastern and western side, dark horse teams that have changed for you? Mine have stayed the same. Ole Miss is my West.
Yep.
Everybody, you know the text line. Hit me up at it if you want to. I'm gonna stay with Ole Miss. If they lose opening night against Louisville, I'm gonna change my mind after the facts change. But on the East, it's Mizzou. Anything different or same for you?
I think I go back and forth a little bit with Kentucky and Missouri as far as who's going to be the guy.
Here's my tiebreaker. I think Drinkwitz is a little more dynamic offensively than Stoops.
Well, and I tell you this, Stoops reminds me somewhat of Billy Napier. He has really built a solid program at Kentucky. Now, Brett, can they ever be elite? I don't know, but I think what he's done is incredibly admirable. But I'm kind of with you. If Kentucky, and I know Joey Gatewood, Bo Allen, the kid from Penn State are all possibilities, if they were solidified more at quarterback than Connor Basilek is at Missouri, I would probably pick Kentucky. But I'll go with you. I'm totally with Ole Miss and what they could do, and if he can get them much better defensively, the sky's the limit there. But right now, I would go with Missouri. So no, there's not enough that's changed unless there's a big injury in there somewhere for one of them.
Yeah, everything based on everything being relative. We don't know where the injury bug hits. Brent, thank you for your time today. We'll visit next Tuesday, and I know the whole state of Florida, with the proper respect and the goodbye in mourning for Coach Bobby Bowden. I like that he's lying in state, like the big guy that he was and should at the Florida State Capitol in Tallahassee. Brent, we'll visit next week. Thank you.
They could put him lying in state in about 4 of the major cities in Florida, and there would be a line outside every city in order to see him, Brett. There really would.
It would be. And Steve Spurrier, just top shelf classy in his comments about him, because they butted heads good through the years. Brent, thank you.
Brent, enjoyed it as always.
You got it. Brent Beard talking college football with us every Tuesday afternoon. So who are some of your dark horses from the East and the West in the SEC? You have them, or you think it's just so set at the top nobody can break through in dark horse style? I think Mizzou's got a better chance.
Yeah, we talked about Missouri. I think Missouri's up there, and I think Ole Miss is gonna have a really good season. I don't know if I'd call them a dark horse, but I think they'll have a good season.
Matt Hayes, that Brent referenced, used to be with Sporting News, now with 1010 XL in Jacksonville, where Brent is as well. He says so many, and also Barrett Salih has said this, so many people have picked Ole Miss to be dark horse. They're no longer a dark horse. They're very known.
Yeah. So
what, in your opinion, what is a good year for Ole Miss?
Eight wins?
8 wins I think is a great year.
Yeah.
Anything above that, well, we know anything above that, 9's back to the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
Like in 2015 when they were 9-3 and went to the Sugar Bowl and played and defeated Oklahoma State. 8-4, that lands you at the bowl in Orlando, maybe back to Tampa, maybe to the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. I'd sign up for it right now and not play it down. No, scratch that. I want to play a bunch of down.
Yeah.
But I would sign up for 8-4 right now, and that's very close to my preseason prediction for the Rebels when we get to prediction time. But I do like Missouri out of these. This portion of our show being brought to you by Jason's Deli. Thank you so much, Jason's Deli, for being with us at SEC Media Days last week at the golf tournament. They're with us year-round, and we appreciate it. All the great locations like Park Place. Olive Branch, Poplar, and Highland over by the U of M, and Cordova. Let Jason's Deli cater your special event. Any meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Save all the time and trouble. Let Jason's Deli do all the work. They want to do all the work. They've got it down. They know what they're doing. Breakfast packages, the ham, sausage, fresh cracked eggs, the flatbread breakfast box, sunshine breakfast, hot wrap breakfast, breakfast pastries, the lunchtime sandwich boxes, the manager special, and then at dinner time, all the great food that you want, you can get at Jason's Deli. Go to jasonsdeli.com. Whether you need to feed 5 or 5,000, the experienced team at Jason's Deli can and will deliver for you. Locations again in Park Place, Olive Branch, Poplar and Highland, and Cordova. The commitment to variety, value, and quality ingredients means you can feel great about choosing Jason's Deli catering for all 3 meals. Now, if you're in the restaurants, you know how you get to wrap it up. You get to wrap it up with a complimentary ice cream like I did yesterday at lunchtime. Go to jasonsdeli.com. When we come back, we will have our Tiger list of toughest games. I'm sorry, most important games. We did toughest yesterday. We will do the most important. We will rank them. We want yours at 901-360-8255 at the AutoZone phone line and the AutoZone text line. Get in the zone at the AutoZone phone and text line. When we come back, we rank the Tigers' most important game, 1 through 12. That's on Sportstime on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane comes your way every weekday morning from 7 till 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
They've raised the bar again at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. I like to say this is the new standard, the way car business should be done. And to prove it, out of 355 dealers in America that sell Genesis cars, the one in Olive Branch, Genesis of Olive Branch, was top 50 in the country, top 10 in the region, and number 2 in the district. And guess what? They want to be number 1. That means there are opportunities out there for you. It's the safest, and every new latest bit of technology that makes the experience of driving a car better, they've got it at Genesis of Olive Branch. If we start with the G70, the highest performing car I've ever owned, all the way to the G80 or the G90, the biggest of the sedans, you'll love everything about the car. If you would like to try the new SUV, the GV80, you call Vinny Gerard at 662-890-6684. He will bring it out to you.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
The moment you fire up a Gator UTV, the engine has your full attention. The completed job is on the horizon, and the trail meets its match. Just like that, you made short work of a long to-do list. Run with us on a John Deere Gator UTV. With effortless four-wheel drive at the flip of a switch and our smoothest shifting transmission yet. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Gator for more.
It's hot outside and your air conditioner just quit. Quick, who do you call? Automatic Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, of course, with 24-hour emergency service available. Automatic understands your house is unique, so they work fast to find the right solution for your family's comfort and budget needs. And with financing available and payments as low as $75 a month, it's never been easier to make your home comfortable. Call 363-4636 or go online to itsautomatic.com. Turn to the experts at Automatic Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing.
Cypress View Golf and Recreation is proud to announce an amazing event happening August 14th. We are bringing in Glow Vibe Golf to run a nighttime tournament that will be unlike any seen in the area. Please visit cypressviewgolf.com and look at a short video of what to expect. Entry fees are $65 per player and include dinner with barbecue, beans, potato salad, and a drink, and 2 glow balls per player. Additional glow balls will be available to purchase on site. Come see why Cypress View Golf and Recreation is known as the best country club in the Mid-South.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
We're ready for college football. We're ready for Tiger football. Nicholls on Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, about 6 o'clock. Maybe the sun will have set down a little bit, not as blazing hot. The following Saturday will be the Southern Heritage Classic. And then that third Saturday will be Mississippi State and the Tigers at Liberty Bowl Stadium. So a fun September. And then the final Saturday in September will be the Tigers against Texas San Antonio. And I'm going to go to that game because there's an Ole Miss open date that game, and I'm looking forward to going to a Tiger game. I didn't get to see the Tigers in person last year at all. The open dates didn't line up, and COVID year was very difficult for everyone, so I didn't get to go. So very much looking forward to Tiger football and glad to have this wave of optimism that's been earned, that's been sustained over these winning years. There have been many times on these airwaves through the years of lean times that I said, I want to see it electric. I want to see it cracking. I want to see it upbeat and fun. I want to see what that will be like sustained. There were good years. There were fun years, but sustained, and that's what they have gotten to under now 3 coaches. I did an interview earlier today in Tuscaloosa and was talking about OU coming into the conference. And one of many things that Oklahoma can be very proud of, and I don't know that many can match them for the number of successful, big-name, legendary coaches, starting with Bud Wilkinson, then to Chuck Fairbanks, then to Barry Switzer, then to Bob Stoops, and now to Lincoln Riley. They had some misses in there. They had the Homer Jones years, and they had the John Blake years and the Gary Gibbs years, and Howard Snellenberger was less than flattering there. But they've had a lot of hits through the years. The Tigers are on their way to 3 straight hits.
Yeah.
Justin Fuente, Mike Norvell, and now Ryan Silverfield. That's not easy to have that many hits at OU. It's sure not easy for the University of Memphis, but they've done it. So here we go on most important 1 through 12, with the most important game being number 1. We want yours at 901-360-8255 at the AutoZone text line. If you don't want to go all the way through 12, give us the top 2 or 3 and kind of where you have Mississippi State in there. As I said earlier, I don't have State near number 1.
Neither.
I wouldn't have Alabama number 1. If the Tigers non-conference were playing Ohio State, I wouldn't have them up there. Important. Probably would change my tune after a win over any of those. You might look back at the end of the year and rank what were the most important wins, and that sure would go up there. But anything in conference takes precedent, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at any of these non-conference games, and there are some you'd rather win than lose.
I'll tell you one place the difference is, and now they're getting ready to get them in conference. Razorback fans, Texas, week 2, that's number 1.
Yeah.
Especially to old Razorback fans like me.
Absolutely.
The old fans, 0 for 45 and for sure over 50. That's going to be the game. But conference is what matters, and this conference matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this conference is good. We've talked about it. You talked about it earlier. They don't, we talked about that slogan P6 a couple weeks ago, and how it was kind of, when it came out, it was kind of like people made fun of it. But this team has shown that they have some really, really good teams in it.
I didn't make fun of the slogan. I didn't make fun of when Scott Strickland and Dan Mullen were saying this is our state and the school up north. I didn't take exception to Danny White claiming the national championship. It's their jobs to promote themselves. It's their jobs to toot their own horn. Now, I think it's better when somebody else does the horn tooting. But Mike Oresco had to go out and sell his brand and sell his product. I don't mind hashtag P6 at all.
No, me neither. And I think it was a thought.
What, you going to wait on Greg Sankey to do it for
you?
No,
absolutely not. No. Or you going to wait for Bob Bowlesby to come over and take your teams?
Or Larry Scott?
Yeah. I mean, he has done a terrific job with this conference, and it's become a really good football conference.
But by the same token, and I know plenty take exception to it. I don't mind. It just means more. And I know the person in the SEC office that came up with that slogan, and he's got a job until retirement. All right, number 1 for you on most important.
Are we starting at the top?
Where would you like?
It's up to you.
You can go 12 to 1. Yeah, let's start down
12-1.
Because we don't want to lose any time on the bottom. So start there.
Would it surprise you if I had Mississippi State at number 12?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe it would surprise me. I don't have them that low. I have Nichols at 12.
This is the only reason I have them at number 12.
State fans, that's Bryant Dacus on Twitter.
Well, no, I don't even mean it like that.
Yeah,
I just mean it as in you lose that game, you lost to an SEC team. It's not the end of the world. You can say, okay, a lot of people had that as a loss. Maybe they're not as what they were 5 years ago when they had Dak, but this is still an SEC team. If you lose it, it's a non-conference game, and it's against the best conference in the country.
The case you just made was that loss up at Mizzou a few years ago in pretty ugly style.
Yeah.
What of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 12, State for you. Number 12, Nichols for me. Number 11 for me, Texas San Antonio. You said your list was going to be surprising, and so far I am. Who's 11?
I've got Nichols at 11. I just think I put them above Mississippi State because I don't think they're going to go out there and lose that. But you lose that game against Nichols State, it's the end of your season.
Bulletin board material for our friends in Jonesboro. Number 10 for me, and I don't mean it this way. I don't mean it disrespectfully, but number 10 on the road at Arkansas State.
Yeah, I got 10 UTSA.
Okay, so far pretty close. Who's 9 for you?
Arkansas State.
Okay, 9 for me. On the road at Temple. Number 8 for me, East Carolina at home.
Where am I? Am I at 8?
8.
I got East Carolina.
Okay. Number 7 for me, on the road at Tulsa. That always feels like a trap game, and that was crazy 2 years ago when their kicker decided to really help the Tigers.
I have 7 Temple.
Close enough.
Yeah.
6 for me, Mississippi State.
Okay, yeah.
A long way from 12.
Well, yeah.
Who's 6 for you?
6 for me is Tulsa.
Number 5 for me, on the road at Tulane.
I've got Navy at number 5.
I've got Navy 4. Who's your 4?
Tulane.
Okay, close enough. The only big difference has been Mississippi State.
Yeah.
And your case is very plausible. Number 3 for me, Houston on the road.
I've got SMU.
SMU, I have it 2. So that leaves it 1. Most important, the same as Hardest. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
We both had Central Florida yesterday as Hardest. We both have Central Florida today as most important. They're the standard bearer of the conference. Now with the pizzazz, with the big hire of Gus Malzahn to replace Josh Heupel. A lot of their fans saying they won that hire.
Yeah.
Getting kind of offloading Heupel to UT and getting Gus. I don't agree with that.
No, but I think this could be a really good bounce back gig for him if he can, make the most of it. But I want to talk about that Houston game because I think that Houston game is a incredibly important game. I have it as number 2. I just noticed last night when I was looking at this, that is I think they play East Carolina the week before or somebody like that, but it's a Thursday or a Saturday, Friday or something like that. It's a short week. Middle of the season at Houston, that will be tough for Memphis, and it will be a game to kind of test where they're at middle of the season.
Yeah, you go Saturday against East Carolina and then Friday at Houston, and have they decided the game for Tulane? Is that Friday of Thanksgiving or Saturday of Thanksgiving?
I don't think they've decided. Yeah, I haven't seen anything official.
I still see Friday/Saturday, November 26/27. The Tigers want that to be on Saturday to have plenty of recoup turnover time. Now, TV may jump out there and want it on Friday afternoon, the day after Thanksgiving, when a lot of people are shopping, but most of us are watching college football or going to college football. That Tulane game will be at Liberty Bowl Stadium. That's been a good playing date for the Tigers, catching a lot of different teams on that Friday afternoon.
What do you think about those Friday afternoon games? I love them.
I love them. That's when I really prefer, and it was only on that Friday 2 times, 07 in Starkville and 08 in Oxford for the Egg Bowl. And there's some conversation with the SEC expansion that Ole Miss and Mississippi State may lose that Thursday night game and go and settle back into that being the lead-in to that 1:30, 2 o'clock game that a lot of years was Arkansas LSU and now has been Arkansas and Mizzou. The league may very much want Oklahoma kind of going back to that traditional Thanksgiving spot that they really had with Nebraska. They're not going to have that,
Right.
but maybe OU on Thanksgiving afternoon, night. But fighting the NFL is what's so tough about that Thursday. Now, 3 games, the noon game with the traditional game with Detroit, the afternoon taking the nap after the turkey set in with the Cowboys, and then into a primetime game either on Fox or NFL Network, something like that. That's where you would have to put the heft of Oklahoma to go out and try to siphon off some ratings.
Yeah, and that'd be the tough part. I like the Egg Bowl that Thursday night.
I do too.
I think it would. I mean, you would?
But Friday would be fun.
But you would see more viewers on a Friday, right? Because you're not splitting time with the NFL.
I think so, because then you're right. The NFL kind of leaves that day to the colleges, but there's a lot of college games going that Friday afternoon. But the traditional spot of OU and Nebraska, whether it was Thursday or Friday of Thanksgiving, that was kind of a 70s thing. I can even remember, I want to say Pat Dye's last game at Auburn in '92 was a Thanksgiving afternoon Iron Bowl against Bama. I think 17-0, something like that in '92. But not often did it fall on actual Thanksgiving Day. But it's hard to fight the NFL.
It's really hard to fight the NFL, especially when we were talking yesterday about those ratings from that Thursday night Hall of Fame game. It was a Hall of Fame game.
It was Dallas and Pittsburgh.
Yes, but it was still a Hall of Fame game.
A Hall of Fame game that we knew more replacement players in '87 than we did on those rosters that logged most of the playing time.
Yeah, so, I mean, when you're talking about a Thursday where, I mean, it's known for eating with your family and watching football, watching NFL football, it's hard to compete with that.
Not that it gets the ratings numbers, but Tiger basketball will be playing around that time. They will be playing. Well, that will be Wednesday. Let me see that date.
I think it's Wednesday and Friday. I think they're playing around Thanksgiving.
November 24th on the Wednesday before, which I love.
Yeah.
And then Friday afternoon, Friday night for the finals at Barclays. That sports week, I'll say it that week, and I'll get a text reminder. Brett, you only say that about 40 weeks out of 52 weeks a year. One of my favorite sports weeks of the year. Starts with Maui in the afternoon on that Monday. All those basketball tournaments, Monday night football, might get some action on Tuesday, into Wednesday more tournaments, into Thursday with that full NFL schedule we just discussed. Egg Bowl for me, for a lot of us, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday, the rivalry games, and then Sunday, NFL, and then games into that Monday night game. One of my favorite sports weeks of the year.
Yeah,
and in NBA often.
Oh yeah,
you're at Grizzlies games that week as well.
Yeah,
that's a good sports week. So that's our most important to least important. You did shock me with Mississippi State. Least
I knew I would. I told you before the show.
That's Bryant Dacus, and give your Twitter handle.
Brian_Dacus. I think I put up a good argument. It's not. I'm not trying to downplay Mississippi State.
I know you're not. How long until we get a text at the AutoZone text line that I made you make them least important? Mississippi State fans. I don't make anybody do. I don't make anybody do anything. Do I, Brian?
No, you don't.
It's whatever the opinion they want to have. When we come back, we'll talk some baseball. 17 games on the baseball docket today. Well, a couple going on, one going on right now, one getting ready to start in the 5 o'clock hour between the Dodgers and the Phillies. One completed, a 7-inning game between Milwaukee and Chicago goes the Brewers' way, 4-2. But we'll talk baseball, and then at 5 o'clock, NFL and his thoughts on the week that he had in Canton when we visit with Bo Marchant. You're listening to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy take you through lunch from 10 to 1 weekdays, only on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Grind City Brewing Company is taking care of beerness in Memphis. Grind City Brewing is the dream of a father and son duo to create a brand that delivers a high quality, great tasting, and easy drinking craft beer. And they've done it. The brewery sits high above the city elevation in uptown Memphis with 15,000 square feet of beerness, including a 5,000 square foot tap room. Grind City Brewing is committed to all things Memphis, including the Tigers. They have created a malt liquor called Tiger Tail that is the official craft beer of the University of Memphis. Tiger Tail comes in 16-ounce six-packs and is not your typical malt liquor. Tiger Tail is crafted with a bold and smooth flavor, has 7.5% alcohol, and its clean finish makes it incredibly easy drinking. Tiger Tail and Grind City Brewing, taking care of beerness in Memphis.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. How old is your water heater? With most of the water heaters in the Mid-South located in the attic, the worst day you can replace your water heater is one day too late. It may be time for a tankless water heater from Conway Services that never runs out of hot water. Plus, these energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. Most 10-year-old water heaters were about 65% efficient when they were new, compared to a tankless water heater from Conway Services that's up to 98% efficient. Plus, right now, get your tankless water heater from Conway Services for as low as $79 per month. Or I'll give you $250 for that old tank water heater. And no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. And you know, with over 8,000 5-star reviews, you know Google guaranteed Conway Services will be providing great customer service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
CenterPoint Energy takes many steps to help ensure the safety of gas lines in your community and shares important tips like the following. A distinct odor similar to rotten eggs is added to natural gas. If you smell it, clear the area and immediately call CenterPoint Energy. Plus, always remember to call 811 before you dig or begin an outdoor project. Natural gas is one of the safest fuels. To find more tips, visit centerpointenergy.com/gas safety.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Acura of Memphis invites you to experience the all-new, completely redesigned 2022 Acura MDX. It's the most advanced SUV Acura has ever built. Experience the convenience of full connectivity, including built-in Alexa, Wi-Fi hotspot, and wireless charging, from the stunning interior complete with third-row seating. Stop by our state-of-the-art facility and take advantage of our aggressive APR offers today at Ridgeway and 385. Or shop online from the convenience of home now. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Brian Dacus, you love baseball just like I do. I am thoroughly convinced that Rob Manfred is the Manchurian Candidate. He's the inside secret mole planted by whatever sport you want to assign to it, to thoroughly wreck baseball forever and ever. Now, he proposes expanded playoffs. Your thoughts?
Keep it where it's at.
Reduce it.
Reduce it would be nice, but
not going to happen.
It's not going to happen, especially when you're talking about expanding it. You don't want too many chefs in the kitchen come playoff time, and that's what you're looking at. It's going to be longer. Guys are going to have to play more innings. It's going to cause more injuries, more fatigue. What is it? More money.
It's more money, but it's to make sure, no doubt about, we get the Dodgers, Yankees, and Red Sox in the playoffs.
Yeah, because, I mean, you have teams that are barely able to make it through these series. Now, if you had a whole nother, it's more games. Like I said, more games cause more fatigue, causes more injuries, and you're going to have those teams at the top that are just stacked. They're going to win it all every year.
Almost half the sport under that proposal that he's going to bring up to the Players Association in the offseason, and probably not as contentious and perilous as I once thought the offseason collective bargaining would be. They're going to come to a deal. There's not going to be a strike. There's not going to be a lockout. The baseball will start on the assigned opening day, and all the schedules were released last year. 2022 schedule released for everybody in the bigs. Looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with minor league baseball for next year, and if it's going to be a later May start, if that's going to be a regular deal or more toward April, like we have known. But I don't want expanded playoffs. I know they're not going to reduce it. I know the days of winning the American League and winning the National League and those two teams meeting in the World Series, that's not ever coming back.
No.
But we've had playoffs since 1969. We've had expanded playoffs now for a long run, and I don't like it. Now, when we get to it and we have that one-game wild card playoff game, I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
When the ceremonial red, white, and blue bunting is out and it's playoff time, I'm going to watch, but it doesn't mean I got to like it.
No, but
and I don't think baseball's a one-shot deal. I don't think it's a one-game deal.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, you still need the series, but it's a lot of games.
Baseball today, one game out of 17 down. Cubs lose 4-2 to the Brewers. First game of the afternoon getting started momentarily between the Blue Jays and the Angels. Shohei Ohtani is going to win MVP of the American League in landslide fashion, isn't he?
Yes, he is. I mean, this is a player we've never seen before, really.
We've never seen this offensive and, oh, by the way, the base stealing prowess of Shohei Ohtani, and then he goes out there and he pitches like that. I'm with you. I'm with the premise that he's going to be MVP. Can't you come in fourth without the MVP?
Yeah.
Guess you could come in last without him, couldn't you?
I guess so, yeah.
They're 56 up, 56 down. They're not going on any late August, September run. Joe Madden, good manager, but so how valuable has he really been?
That's very true. And you're starting to see him kind of make a push. I think it's too little, way too late. But you're right. I mean, I think that's kind of in every sport. I think we've kind of most valuable player isn't as most valuable to their team as it once was.
Who was the argument this year in the NBA that kind of fit that?
A lot of people were wanting Steph.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
And great year, individual year, but how valuable was he?
Mm-hmm.
He was valuable to his stat line. He was valuable to his back of the basketball card in his case. But for the team, I think Andre Dawson won it one year for the Cubs, and they came in last.
Yeah.
And you could come in last without him.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, I mean, I still think he wins it in a landslide fashion, but I think you're right. I think he hasn't been, his team's not going to the playoffs for sure. But my question is, how different would the Angels be this year if Mike Trout was healthy? Do you think they'd be in playoff contentions? Do you think they'll be up there?
It's always something with the Angels.
It's always something. Every year.
And we will get to October, and I'll break out. I'll go to Baseball Ref, and I'll look it up, and I think it's 12 postseason at-bats ever for Mike Trout. Isn't that sad?
It's really sad. And, I mean,
there's another reason for expanded playoffs. Get Mike Trout in the playoffs.
Well, but isn't it wild how Mike Trout is considered one of the best players in the league and just has never really been there come playoff time?
And the Pujols years in Anaheim were a lot like that, a lot snake-bitten. But I still don't want expanded playoffs. Look, the great Ernie Banks never played in a World Series. The great Ted Williams never won one. It happens.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, we're getting ready to talk a lot about the Hall of Fame weekend that Bo Marchant had tomorrow at 4:30. Or we might do it at a different time because we're going to have Rick Hall at 4:30. We will have current in the NFL our top 10 players that are playing today that we know will waltz into Canton. Number one is so easy.
No, it's so easy.
So really we're doing 2 through 10, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because I think Tom Brady, and I've said seriously, if he wins another one this year, waive the 5 years and put him in.
Yeah.
Waive the 5 years and go ahead and put him in. We will talk with Bo Marchant about the week in Canton, the week that he had all the speeches, the game that drew 7.3 million viewers. Bo Marchant was one of those in person. The big crowd they had at Canton. Canton might have got in right under the wire for that big a crowd for right now with the variant exploding around the country and people being really, really careful. A lot of schedules being changed because of it, out of abundance of caution. A lot of that is from the legal front. People are scared to death of the legal exposure if somebody could lay claim to getting sick. You know, one thing we haven't had from SEC Media Days? Have you heard of a single runny nose from it?
No, I haven't.
Not one. Inside, handshaking, right there, and that was in hot spot of Alabama, less vaccination area. Not a single person coming out of SEC Media Days with as much of a runny nose, but other places they are, and we have to be careful. Hour number 3, it starts next on Sports 56 and 98.5.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Dr. George Flynn, Chairman of the Board of Flynn Broadcasting. Other stations might consider you to be a listener. I don't, and we don't. You are a family member, and I want the best for you and your family. So please get vaccinated against COVID. It saves hospitalizations and can save your life. I've had 3 rounds of vaccines on clinical trials with no side effects other than maybe a sore arm for 24 hours. I want to protect you, my family, and would never suggest something that might harm you. Please get vaccinated and feel safe in knowing you've done your part to beat COVID-19. I care about you, so please get vaccinated. All of us at Flynn Broadcasting want to keep you healthy, so please get vaccinated.
Wendy's only makes one kind of breakfast, your new favorite one. How do we do it? With fresh cracked eggs, oven-baked bacon, and flaky croissants. You know, the things your old breakfast wasn't doing. So toss that old news and its soggy eggs somewhere useful. And get to Wendy's, where the sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, bacon, egg, and Swiss croissant, and honey butter chicken biscuit are just 2 for $4. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $4.
Limited time only. Single item at regular price. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's.
Visit Frontier Western Store this summer to check out tons of new products. Frontier added so many new items in their women's boutique. There are daily arrivals with thousands of on-trend tops, jeans, and pants in stock at amazing prices. And guys, Frontier's your #1 Carhartt store. There's no one around with a larger selection of everyday fits and workwear. Wrangler and Ariat clothing also available. Frontier recently remodeled their entire store and expanded the world-famous boot showroom. Now there are even more dress and work boots in stock. After Ariat boots, then you've got to check out Frontier. There are over 1,000 pair of Ariat boots alone, and thousands more in other brands such as Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, and Twisted X. As if the selection isn't reason enough, there's Frontier's low prices. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so when you're ready for your next pair, you know right where to come. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sportstime on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sportstime is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Dave will be back with us next Monday. He has the week off. He'll be back in next Monday. Gabe's out, so we have Bryant Dacus producing and pulling double duty and doing a great job. We're with you until 6 o'clock. 901-360-8255 at the AutoZone phone line. Same number for the AutoZone text line. Get in the zone at the AutoZone phone or text line. NFL with 7.3 million viewers last Thursday night for the Pro Football Hall of Fame game in Canton. We visit with Bo Marchant every week at this time, year around, about the NFL. He was in Canton for most, if not all, the festivities from Thursday on. We'll get his thoughts after I tell you about the title sponsor of this hour, and that's DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road. Online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. Go online and check out all the referrals of the many pleased customers, but also look at the beautiful cars online at DeSotoAutoSales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. All the cars thoroughly examined, test-driven, checked out bumper to bumper, head to toe, with an unlimited inventory. That's hard to say in the car business right now, but they can, and they can say it and they can back it up. Every make, every model, if it's not on the lot, they'll go out and find that special car that you want just for you. No shortcuts taken at DeSoto Auto Sales. You walk in and you treat it like family by kind, courteous employees, laid back atmosphere, down home environment. No high pressure tactics to sell you. They want you to have the ultimate car experience and enjoy your time with them and be treated like family. They know we live in a world today that time really matters, and they want to keep it simple. That's why test drive your car, get credit approved, paperwork completed. You're out of there in 45 minutes or less. That's a guarantee at DeSoto Auto Sales on Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales. We visit with Bo Marchant every week at this time, and every year I know how much he looks forward to going to Canton after a year off. Did you want to kiss the ground or kiss the steps of the Pro Football Hall of Fame when you got there, Bo?
I did, and this kudos to the whole staff. I told them afterwards when I was leaving Sunday night that this seemed like one of the better, more detailed and just easy, smooth. Everything was just very, very quick and just a great time. And they said, well, we're glad you thought that because it wasn't that easy. And I said, well, you made it look easy, but great week. Two enshrinement classes, the game on Thursday night, ceremony or yellow jacket on Friday. So a lot of fun things, and it was nice to see fans in the stands and people just enjoying the enshrinement, and it seemed like football. I mean, a full press box, the buffet line was going. It just seemed like we were back to normal. Hopefully, guys, it stays that way.
Yeah, hopefully it stays that way. We're under a lot of caution and a lot of concern. We have to be careful. My biggest admonition to people is, if you can, go get that vaccination, and you can. It's very simple. Bo, did you have to show any vaccination card, or was it all on honors?
I believe, and if I'm wrong, but I know I had to do it with the Steelers and Pitt Panthers for credentials for the year. I'm almost certain that when you applied for credentials, you had to show proof of your vaccination card front and back. So I'm almost positive, because I know I just kind of kept it out. But once you arrive,
that doesn't
there,
bother me. Does that bother you? Is that some affront to you? It's not to my civil liberties. It's not.
No, it doesn't. I mean, listen. I mean, if you have a cell phone, they know what you're doing and where you're going and everything else. And if they want to get to you, if that's your paranoia, they're going to get you.
They're going to be very bored. They're going to be very bored tracking me, Bo.
Yeah, they got nothing. I guess they'd have our text messages about something going on in football, and my wife telling me to take out the garbage.
And food. We text a lot about food with each other.
Yeah. So there's not much secret life of me or you that we know of. But who knows, listeners? Maybe we have another. Maybe we're like the Born Identity of radio people. Who knows?
No, we're not. I hate to tell you, we really are that boring. No. It looked fun in Canton, and I long wanted to go and wanted to be there for Peyton Manning. Couldn't. I took so much time off in the spring that I just couldn't take that time off, and the time I'm getting ready to take here right before football, so I couldn't go. The thing I wanted to go to more than anything, I love a parade. I love a homecoming parade. I love a Christmas parade. I want to see the parade.
That parade, I mean, we all know of the Macy's Day Parade in New York on Thanksgiving. This parade is probably, I think, top 5 in the nation in terms of just size. And if you live in the area or you're driving through, you're going to see people actually starting to camp out the night before, so they have a first row curbside view of the parade coming through.
I got
it
the
is
Rose
a
Bowl
big,
parade
big,
at 4:30 a.m.
There you go. Yeah, it's a spectacle. It really is. I mean, they do. This is their big show. This is Canton's time to shine, and they embrace it, and they try to treat everybody well. But I just can't tell you, I really enjoyed my time, and probably because a year away. I mean, if we didn't have football last year, I'd be so anxious to do it all over again, and you just become accustomed to seeing familiar faces and just being around the people that within that facility and saying hello and kind of talking, and they were talking about there's so many other things that might go on within the Hall of Fame. Not so much bust in the gallery, the gallery inside, but it's possible that referees might have their day where some of them are not a contributor, but there'll be a place for them, and just a lot of different aspects of more possible people in the Hall of Fame that not necessarily are a scout or a coach or a media person or a player. Just other aspects that definitely help the NFL evolve into the game we love.
Tell me this: the designation for the media entry for Joe Buck does he get a gold jacket? Does he have a bust, or is it just a designation for this year, or is he really Hall of Famer?
Well, he's not. Well, I mean, they don't get a bust or anything. They don't get the gold jacket, but they're there. I mean, there's like I said, there's different layers of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. There's so many titles, and talking with Rich DeMazur, the director of it, not under David Baker. He was talking when I was leaving Sunday night that there's different avenues on the horizon. They're just not sure when those are actually going to come up. I mean, we saw the Writers Association, that there's just a lot of moving parts, and I don't know when they'll all become fluid, and we'll see the results of those. But it's definitely a wheel in motion, if you will, of new things that are going to be coming. And I actually sat next to Woody Page, and most people know Woody Page
from Memphis,
the Denver. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
But but fantastic. And Brett, I heard more historical stories about football in those few hours sitting next to him.
I can't believe he didn't invoke being from Memphis, because he usually does. He's very proud of it.
Wow, yeah, he didn't, but he was just talking about there'll be a point, and he encouraged it. He was pro for it. Because when I told my wife, she took it the wrong way. I go, no, he was pro for it. He was pro for it. He goes, he's interested to see when the first woman gets inducted in some capacity, as like the contributors or some of those things like the
Virginia
Ron Wolfs and all those
McCaskey's not in.
No.
Wow.
So, yeah. At least as far as I know.
The matriarch of the Ford family. I'm shocked. I would think Lamar Hunt's widow would be in. That's a good take. That's a good take by Woody Page.
Yeah, but in due time, due process. But yeah, great night, great. Like I said, no complaints.
Someday,
and then we had a little action.
Someday, Charlotte Jones Anderson could be in.
It's possible. I mean, we're moving in that direction. I think a lot of eyes are opening to the value of you just don't have to be a man to have success in sports. You can be a viable piece of success just because of your sexual stature. That shouldn't mean that.
So, Bo, we're hearing a lot of news out of New Orleans with Michael Thomas. What's going on down there, and do you think he'll be traded?
Well, this started last year. I mean, we saw the rumblings last year and the kind of the dissociation between the two parties. And I think this latest thing where, they had the absence of him, the surgery, the no dialogue between him and the team. Sean Payton kind of elaborated to it when he did his, interview a few weeks back that he basically said, in other words, we're not happy about this. And this was not this stuff. This wasn't shared. Thomas came on social media and said, it's not the case, but there's been a lot of rumblings down there. I would say, if the money can be moved and everything in that case, I don't see him being a Saint for much longer. And, that trade deadline quickly approaches, I think, week 5. I don't know if it'll be week 6 now that there's an extra game. But, if you're going to see the movement prior now, unless a big name team in search of a star gets hurt, but then you got to have the cap space. But I think you could see that as a, week 6, week 5 trade deadline type move where the Saints move on. And again, they didn't have them much last year, and there's definitely a discontent between the two. I'd be shocked if he's a Saint by the end of the year. That would be my opinion. And Mike Underwood, I believe it's Mike Underwood, does a great job with NOLA Football and the Saints. He has his own podcast. I was talking with him. He didn't think there was any problems, but I told him, I go, I disagree wholeheartedly. I definitely think that there's an issue, and that's why we're talking about it. And I just think at the end of the day, he is traded by the deadline off to a contender if he's healthy, where he can contribute and possibly get to a Super Bowl.
Interesting quarterback battle in New Orleans. Jameis Winston, by all accounts, no games played yet, but really having a good camp, as is Taysom Hill. So they've got nice options at the quarterback position, and we are firm believers in Sean Payton coaching at position, aren't we, Bo?
Oh yeah, me and you. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go there and get some tutelage and learn how to play the game a little bit better, Peyton. You think of Jameis Winston. We all make fun of the 30 interceptions that he threw a few years back, but he led the league with, I think, 626 completions. He led the NFL
all-time passing yards leader with the Bucs.
Yeah. So I mean, he was putting it up there. I mean, it graded. I mean, 30, but I mean, and it hit me. Because watching Peyton Manning's induction on Sunday night, he threw 28 interceptions
as a rookie
his rookie year. So,
I love that story. Yeah. Archie told he said that Peyton said, "Dad, nobody's open." He goes, "Yes, they are. You got to get it to them faster."
Yeah, it's just that tighter spot. And so, I mean, listen, we're not comparing Winston to Manning, but it does happen. I number one pick overall. I'm just convinced teams just gravitate towards that. It's just what they do, and I just think at the end of the day, that's really Winston's job to lose. Even if Sean Payton doesn't say, "Hey, this is it's an open competition," he really wants to wait to the last moment to announce who's going to be that guy week one. I'm just convinced it's going to be Jameis Winston. Doesn't mean it's going to be, but I just think that number one pedigree that goes a long, long way into what teams believe in terms of upside of a player, especially when you've had success like Jameis Winston. We can't say he hasn't been successful. He just had that really, really, really bad year in terms of the 30 interceptions. But nonetheless, he threw the ball a ton.
This week, games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. No Monday game, but it really gets going this week. Last week just kind of whetted our appetite. This week, it's full force. A lot of the games on the NFL Network. Here locally, we get some Titans games, and I know on Wednesday we have our friend TJ Reeves from the Buccaneers radio team, and in the preseason, that's really big for a lot of people that get that work and get those games, either doing something for TV. We all missed that last year. I know what the games are mostly like. I don't know who the NFL executive was that had the tweet last week defending somebody taking a shot at the level of play and the anonymous nature of a lot of the players. I've done the same thing on the anonymous nature, but this person, it's a league official, I think with Washington, came in and defended and said, look, it's a lot of these people are playing for their football lives.
Yeah, me, I love preseason football. I mean, to me, this is reality.
And none of them
TV.
are anonymous to you.
Yeah. No, but this is reality
Yeah.
TV. It's funny. These guys have been playing this sport probably since they were 6 or 7. Their mom and dad
This could be the last
taking
shot
them to
at
the
it.
field. Yeah, and this could be the final rehearsal. This is it. This is, in September. And, even sitting there Thursday night, the guy that I was sitting to that particular night, I said, this is a sad moment. I said, it's when you think about it, like this could be you are so close. You're in an NFL uniform. There's a logo on your chest. There's a logo on your helmet that says National Football League. And yet September, when the final cuts come, it could just be the end. And you're never going to get another
tape
call.
ankle again.
Never. And people, and not only are you close to the dream, but, even the financial burden that could take off you, it's just for a few years. I mean, if you just got a sniff of a contract just for a year or two, that could put such a nice little, nest egg in your piggy
at 23?
bank. Oh, yeah.
800,000.
So it's a lot.
I could get you real used to it. Now, it's this big price you have to pay and a lot of work that's gone into it. But you think you make a great point about you're that close to it and how the separation you've already made from all the little boys you went out to Pee Wee football with, and then then Little League football, then junior high, and then high school, and then college. You've separated yourself. You're almost there. And if you can get there for 3.4 years, you're getting a retirement check to the day you die. But you got to make it right now. This is the time to do it. This week, the NFL preseason games really get busy. We've done our quarterback rankings. After today, we just have 2 left. We have NFC West and AFC West. Today is AFC South. We'll get Dave to catch up next week when he's back. Oh, boy, this one. Bryant, you want to start?
I do not want to start,
Bo,
actually.
you want to start? I don't want to start either. Somebody's got to start.
I'll start,
Okay.
but I have a question. There's so – I mean – do we use Carson Wentz? Do we use
However
Deshaun
you
Watson?
want. Give me 4. Give me the top
All right.
4 quarterbacks in the AFC South. It could be 4 with one team. Nobody cares 4 quarterbacks, but it can be anything.
All right, I'm going to go Ryan Fitzpatrick with the Tennessee Titans, number 1.
Ryan Tannehill.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm gonna go
Fitzpatrick
with
will
Ryan
eventually get to the Titans.
Yeah.
We're trying to play for every team in the league.
Yeah. Yep, and I did. I actually wrote Fitzpatrick down. I knew it was Tannehill.
I did it in the
second-
first segment today. I blew a name, and it burns me up when I do it, Bo.
Yeah, and all the, and if you're not corrected, everybody out there is, like, it's Tannehill.
I corrected myself before anybody else could, because I can assure you nobody's tougher on me than I am.
I'm going to go with Tyrod Taylor. I think he'll be the guy with the Texans. He was brought in. So 2011, he came into the league as a 6th-round pick, and I think he'll be the starter. I don't think Watson gets on the field there. Then I go Trevor Lawrence. And then, again, I don't know with Carson Wentz and Sam Ehlinger and, Wentz coming back when he will. So I'm going to go Tannehill, Tyrod Taylor, Trevor Lawrence, and then depending on the health of Carson Wentz.
This is the hardest one yet because of the question marks, the on-field status, and possibly, legal standing for Deshaun Watson, what's going on in Indianapolis, and will Jacksonville, first snap opening game, throw the Greek god out there, Bryant?
I'm pretty similar. I'm going with who's going to be out there week 1. So I've got Tannehill, Tyrod Taylor, and then Trevor Lawrence, number 3, and then Sam Ehlinger at number 4 with the Colts.
Boy, we have it's the most divergent we've had yet. I'm going to go with who should be out there if it wasn't pending legal matters. And I guess I can't go injury because Indianapolis is still a question mark because that number 1 for me, and he has really separated himself. It's not default Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
But with that running game, well, you get Derrick Henry rolling like he gets him going. You can be really comfortable back there in play action. He had great coaching from Arthur Smith. We'll see if that continues. Number 2, hadn't won a lot, but when he's in there, he's real good. He might not be in there at all, and it's not anything to do with football. That's Deshaun Watson. Number 3 for me, this is really tough, and former MVP of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl when he was at Georgia, Jacob Eason.
Oh, wow.
MVP against TCU after his freshman year at Georgia, Kirby Smart's first year, and MVP of the 2016 AutoZone Liberty Bowl. That leaves Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence won't be 4 on many lists in about 3 years, will he, Bo?
I hope not, for the Jacksonville's sake, and I just hope for us. You know me, if they pan out good when they're that high of a draft pick, that means they're going to be special for us to watch for a long, long time. So any of those number 1 type quarterbacks that are supposed to be the, protégés of the next level, you definitely want these guys. You don't want them to be Jamarcus Russell, put it that way.
It throws you off for years if that doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, and plus, it's lousy football to watch. You just want to watch great guys do great things on the field when they're at their best.
Yeah. So, Bo, we talked about the Texans in this group. They announced that Deshaun Watson's not going to start week 1. Do you think Deshaun Watson plays another snap in the NFL?
I think he plays another snap in the National Football League, yes. I just don't think it's with the Texans. And I think they're not having him do anything because they don't want him to get hurt, and, they want to have that ability to move him. And if something happens, then they're really, limits their ability to, do it again. And I just think at the end of the day, if we all know this, and if these legal issues somehow he can get past these, then there'll be a suitor. I mean, there's always going to be a team when you are as talented as him as a quarterback, there's going to be a team that's going to pull the trigger. And I think, timing is going to be everything. I mean, timing was everything before. He wanted out. They wouldn't let him out. Then all these allegations came to light. Now they can't, they're kind of stuck. So
right.
It's a weird thing. But I do think he plays another snap. I think he plays lots of snaps in the future.
We will do the NFC West next week, and then we will finish with the AFC West. And then I'm looking at the calendar. That will get us to making predictions on the season. It feels like AFC South is going to be easy. Titans in a landslide?
I think so. At this point, when you look, if Wentz was healthy, and I might give a little bit more credence to think the Colts, because they're a pretty solid team on both sides. But the Titans, I think they have to be at this point. And next week, if we do the starters, I'd want to know from you and Dave, if you got between the Niners, I want to know not who the opening day starter is. I want to know who you think the last starter is going to be. So week 18. Who's starting for those 49ers? Is it going to be Jimmy G or that rookie Trey Lance?
I heard a national radio host that I listened to on the weekends, kind of overnight. He made a great case that you could make the claim that Shanahan has coughed up 2 Super Bowls. The one is head coach with the Niners against Mahomes and the Chiefs, and when he was OC with the Falcons up 28-3.
Totally legit argument, Brett. I don't think. Yeah, it's total. I mean, 8 minutes to go, they should have beat the Chiefs. Some miracle throws by
late
Mahomes.
in the third quarter, weren't they?
Yeah, and that game was over. I mean, that game was over, and the same thing you could say. I mean, the Falcon game. I mean, that will live in infamy if you're a Falcons fan or anyone who really despises that dynasty.
I was at that one and texted one of my nephews, 28-3, Tom Brady. Ding dong, the witch is dead. And he said, number 12 not done yet. And from about that text on, here he comes.
and then a perfect storm. Every bad thing that could actually happen. And didn't Julian Edelman make that? That was like the catch of catches for Edelman. Didn't he make that spectacular catch to keep one of the
almost the Tyree type catch?
Yeah, he made that catch. And and when things like that happen, if you're a fan of one team or the other, you kind of know. Listen,
you can't get in the way of that.
Yeah, you can't stop.
Bigger things are at play at that point. Bo, we appreciate the time. One last getaway question. Give me one. We've got to move on. Do it quickly.
Okay.
Give me one thing from last weekend that you'll remember the rest of your life. The one signature moment from last weekend in Canton.
It has to be sitting next to Woody Page and hearing some of the stories that he said about Al Davis and Mark Davis and so many other things. I have to say that was probably the funnest time.
That's a good deal. Good deal. And Woody Page, what you see on TV is what you get. He's the same fun-loving guy. And
yeah, I've come to realize that.
Memphis boy.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Bo. Yeah. We'll visit next week. Have a great week. Enjoy the games.
You guys as well. Stay safe.
You got it. Bo Marchant with us every week. As a TV viewer, what was your favorite thing from the Hall of Fame festivities?
I think it was Peyton Manning's speech. It was great.
That's easy for me. It was kind of the Peyton Archie interaction.
Yeah, that and just how, I think we talked about it yesterday a little bit, how it could have gone down the emotional path, but he was really about, we got to do something about football.
Yeah. I always like defenders of football. Mm-hmm. I am that. Plenty of things that need to be corrected, rectified, fixed. Well, I'm not saying it's a perfect sport by any means. What is out there? And it is filled with peril. Bryant, you said you played high school football, mm-hmm. and you loved all sports. I say this about football at any level, even Little League football. When you go out, Shelby Youth Sports, Pee Wee League, Pop Warner, whatever league you want to call it as a little guy, you know immediately I'm not in right field anymore.
No, I mean, you're right in it. And I've had plenty of times where, I've gotten my helmet knocked off. I've gotten hit in the chest, can't breathe coming up. I mean, you're in there. There's nowhere to hide in football practice.
It's not. It's different from anything else, but I think it is the ultimate team sport.
Yeah.
One bust, y'all bust. One weak link, the whole thing could go down.
That and just the accountability that you learn at the young age when you're playing football, and you just learn so much about life playing football. It's just such a great sport.
I think it is a really great sport, and I'm going to defend it till my last breath. When we come back, we'll be into the home stretch on this Tuesday afternoon. You're listening to Sports Time with Brett on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Grab a seat with Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmins Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claim specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Wendy's only makes one kind of breakfast, your new favorite one. How do we do it? With fresh cracked eggs, oven-baked bacon, and flaky croissants. You know, the things your old breakfast wasn't doing. So toss that old news and its soggy eggs somewhere useful. And get to Wendy's, where the sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, bacon, egg, and Swiss croissant, and honey butter chicken biscuit are just 2 for $4. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $4.
Limited time only. Single item at regular price. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's.
Cypress View Golf and Recreation is proud to announce an amazing event happening August 14th. We are bringing in Glow Vibe Golf to run a nighttime tournament that will be unlike any seen in the area. Please visit cypressviewgolf.com and look at a short video of what to expect. Entry fees are $65 per player and include dinner with barbecue, beans, potato salad, and a drink, and 2 glow balls per player. Additional glow balls will be available to purchase on site. Come see why Cypress View Golf and Recreation is known as the best country club in the Mid-South.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Thank you, Brian. I'm looking at our friend Isaac Simpson that so often joins John Harden, I think, on Thursday afternoon. And love Isaac. He is tweeting that the Georgia game is still on for the Tigers. They're just working on a date. You know, I had the question about the AAC SEC challenge. I'm just assuming that would be part of it. And I guess that game would be at Athens, since when they did play it, it was here. So the return game there. That's a lot of SEC. On the road at Ole Miss, on the road at Georgia. A neutral that won't feel real neutral in Nashville against Tennessee. And the what's the fourth? What's the other?
Home against Alabama.
Home against Bama. And Bama and Tennessee, I don't know if it's go for it Final 4 years for them, but kind of the same math as the Tigers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Second weekend for sure. And
absolutely.
Anything beyond that's really good. And you try to make some bunch of threes and you win it all.
Yeah.
I thought Bama could tap into that last year.
Yeah.
Picked a bad time to get cold.
They sure did. Now, they had a great season last year. So did Tennessee. They've been building those programs up, and those are going to be 2 really fun games.
It's time for Rick Barnes to do a little more in the tournament, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hasn't been a lot of noise made by him, has it?
No, and I mean, they had a good little run last year, but another really good recruiting class coming in. So we'll see.
We will see. The Tiger schedule, as we talked a lot about way back at the beginning of the show, the Tiger non-conference schedule set home against November 9th, home opener against Tennessee Tech after 2 exhibition games against Lemoyne Owen and Lane College. Glad they're playing those games. That will be warm-ups, though, for the real stuff that starts November 9th. That's a Tuesday night against Tennessee Tech. Then North Carolina Central, St. Louis U, Western Kentucky. All those games in November, all those games at FedEx Forum. Then the Thanksgiving trip to New York, I would assume, with a Wednesday game. That's probably a depart Memphis on a Monday for a real long week. That's very special for the team. I hope we get to have that, and they're there for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. That's one of the things the NBL and the G League cannot give you, and that is still a big selling point for college basketball, that you get those kind of experience. Virginia Tech on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then either Iowa State or Xavier on that Friday after Thanksgiving. First Saturday in December down in Oxford against Ole Miss, and then Murray State and Alabama at home in December, the neutral against Tennessee, and close out December with Alabama State. In Georgia, maybe somewhere in there, I want to say the Georgia game 2 years ago at FedEx Forum was the first Saturday in January.
I think it was. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Did you do that game?
I did. Yeah, that was a fun one.
That was well, except for the outcome.
Yeah, the ending wasn't fun, but it was a packed house, and it was loud in there.
It was a good atmosphere for it, and Georgia, I didn't think was that good, and that was the DJ Jeffries ill that day and really missed him. I thought that was a big part of that game then, but I'm pretty sure that was after the new calendar year on a Saturday. It could be in there, and we'll get AAC opponents and Tiger basketball, just the optimism that we're rolling into the season with.
Yeah, it's remarkable, and I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday, but with what we could have coming up later this week with a commitment from Amani Bates, this would be bigger than that 2018 or that 2019 class, just because of it's not get James Wiseman out of your backyard. It's you're going out there to Philadelphia getting Jalen Duren. You're going and getting Amani Bates. You've built this team up. There's more veteran guys on this team than there were in that 2019 class. I think this team, if what happens could come to fruition and happen, I think it will be a better team and a more fun team to watch than that 2019 team.
Yeah, that's really cracking the myth of Penny Hardaway. Well, he'll be good getting guys from Shelby County or getting guys that he has a connection with, showing that outreach. And a lot of that might be Larry Brown. A lot of that might be Rasheed Wallace. But Penny Hardaway gets a lot of the credit too.
Yo, absolutely. And did you see a new bracketology came out today? We were talking about bracketology yesterday.
I did not. A bracketology was released without my knowledge.
Yes. Do you know where Memphis was slated? Because we talked about where they could possibly go.
We did this a few weeks ago. So I'm going to say I have not seen it.
I only looked at where Memphis was because
I'm going to say 3 seed.
A little high.
What was it?
A little high.
5?
A little low.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. Did I win on Prices Right?
Absolutely.
So they're a 4 seed, and they have them in what region?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Okay. Well, Jalen Duren's family would really like
Jalen
that.
Duren, if they were to add Rasheed Wallace onto staff.
Larry Brown, very popular figure
that'd
in
be
Philly.
Fun.
Rasheed Wallace.
Exactly. That'd be fun to play there in your first tournament game.
How did a bracketology get out today without me knowing about it?
I don't know. I saw it right when I got
because
here.
you know I love Joey brackets, especially on August 10th. I'm feverishly getting to it. I see Mississippi State in the first 4.
Yeah.
Ben Howland needs that year.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the what? So Chicago
towards the bottom.
There we go.
Yeah.
Texas, the 1 seed.
Is Texas the 1 seed?
Texas with Chris Beard as the 1. The 2 being Michigan with Jawan Howard. The 3, Villanova with Jay Wright. And the 4, Coach Penny Hardaway's Memphis Tigers open against UCSB, the Gauchos. Give me everything you know about the Gauchos.
They're the Gauchos.
You got the same thing I know about them. Against UCSB with the winner probably facing the 5 in St. Bonaventure. Bring it on.
That'd be really fun.
Bring it on. Then that would advance to – that would be Pods, and that would advance to Philadelphia to probably run into the number 1 seed Texas. Get past them. You get the bottom of the bracket, either Michigan, Villanova, or – Bruce Pearl's Auburn Tigers down there at 6. Where is Arkansas? Alabama, a 4 seed, according to Joe Brackets. Everything with the proviso of August 10th. Okay, we all know that.
Arkansas is a 4 seed.
In what?
The West, San Francisco.
That's up top left, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Gonzaga. I said Gonzaga will be out of the West. Who's 2 out there? Illinois, not UCLA. That'd be a break for somebody to only have to get through Gonzaga. Houston, a 3 for Kelvin Sampson's team. And Arkansas right there is a 4. I think Arkansas will be better than that. I do.
Yeah.
UAB, Andy Kennedy, right above Arkansas
How about
in
that?
the 5-12 game, playing Hubert Davis in his first year at North Carolina. August 10th, bracketology.
Tennessee, a 5 seed.
I didn't see him where.
Over in the Midwest in Chicago, right across.
I got it. I'm there now. Against Loyola of Chicago.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of pressure on.
Yeah, it would.
On Rick Barnes
That's not
in that
the team
game.
You want to
He's
see.
lost to him before.
Yeah.
In the NCAA tournament.
You do not want to see them in the tournament.
With Loyola on the way to the Final Four that year.
Yeah.
UCLA, a 1 seed up top right in Chicago. Kansas, a 1, and Texas, a 1. So that's the 4 ones. According to Joe Brackett's all on August 10th. You know how much that's going to change?
No. It won't look anything like it does right now.
Would Tiger fans be pleased with a 4 seed? Should be.
They should. Yeah, they should be. I don't know if they would be. There's some fans that.
That's okay.
Yeah, but a 4 seed, like I talked about yesterday, this team hadn't been to the tournament in a while. A 4 seed would be remarkable.
You know, Brian, there's some young fans that are young and hungry. A lot was really carved out of 6, 7, 8, and 9. And
Yes.
that's all they really knew, and that's what they expected. That's great. Then there are seasoned fans like me that hurry up, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I've been waiting since 73 playing UCLA on March 26, 1973. So, and then a bunch in between the real young and the real older fans. But it's going to be fun for the Tigers this year. Non-conference portion out, waiting for the conference schedule to come out, and just see how that breaks down. See, the tough road trips there. I don't take it for granted that it's just going to be a cakewalk in the AAC. Not at all.
No. There are going to be some good competition in the AAC, and we got to get past Tulsa this year.
Especially there.
Yeah, and I mean, Tulsa's given Memphis fits.
A trip to Moody and SMU, a trip to Wichita State, to the Koch brothers arena. That could be tough. What kind of tempo do you get?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, and I mean, Houston. We
know that,
obviously,
but now is it Houston once, and is it there or here, or is it twice? With a home and home.
And I mean, you see some other teams getting a little better. Tulane seems to slowly get better. They're going to be a trap game.
Cincinnati,
yeah. The AAC is no cakewalk at all.
Better conference, football or basketball, currently today in the AAC.
I would give it slightly to football.
I would too.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that when it was drawn up?
Not me.
That's good though.
Oh yeah.
Because Houston just went to the Final Four. Tigers are always fairly to really relevant. So Cincinnati's had this blip post Mick Cronin. We'll see if they can get it fixed. But we didn't think we would ever say that about football.
No. I mean, this was a conference that you, especially those early years, you leaned on basketball. And now it's kind of taking that switch, and you're leaning on football a little bit.
I see LSU on Joe Brackett's bracketology. We got to catch up with Shelby Mass from bracketwag.com and visit on if he's had a reveal, a release. I see LSU in there. I mentioned Mississippi State in a play-in game. Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, Auburn. There's a lot from that. Where is Kentucky? Have you? There they are, 3 seed.
Yeah.
Would their fans be pleased with that?
After
with their caviar appetite.
After this year, I mean, gotta be.
It's one good thing about a bad year.
That's very true.
It brings that caviar back down a little bit.
A little bit, but
a little bit. And that's good for them. It never ever gets passe for them. They always expect win it all. I'm shocked that John Calipari has only won one at Kentucky. Did you think he would have more than that by now at Kentucky? I thought he should have had one between UMass and Memphis. I thought he should have had one of those.
Yeah, and I mean, when you look at just the amount of guys that have gone through Kentucky and now are doing their thing in the NBA, now some of those guys didn't make the impact that they are making now in the NBA and college.
Really
like
good.
Booker, yeah. But you had all those guys, and there are a lot of years that you look back at some of those teams, and it is surprising that they've only won one.
Well, the Wisconsin loss, that's probably, if he would admit it, which he won't, because he's never going to show weakness. I like that about him, because he is one tough son of a gun. He's never going to show that weakness, but that's going to be the one that someday he says, because he was en route to 40-0 there. He was en route to 40-0 here, except for the Rob Dozier not tipping the ball in, and then the overtime to Kansas. I don't really – when Dave says almost national championship year, it should have been – I know what he means.
Yeah.
Because it was that close. So Joe Brackett with a reveal, it's no slow time of year, is it?
No, never.
Always college basketball season, always college football season around here. From the Hall of Fame ceremonies last week, I mentioned the Jimmy Johnson acceptance speech. I loved what he said about dreamers, that he was never a dreamer, because that's hoping. He knew he was going to be that good, from an undersized player at Arkansas as a nose guard. Can you imagine him playing nose guard now? But he did then. It was different style of ball and segregated football. That also was to his benefit then, because he didn't have the competition that he would have had in real integration. But from undersized player to working his way up as coach to getting his break at Oklahoma State to going to the U, and then when Jerry Jones called, that had always been their dream as the friends that they were. Their friendship, how it goes back, probably a little overdone how tight they were. Yes, they were roommates at Arkansas, and the reason why, they did the road roomies alphabetically.
Really?
And
wow.
Johnson and Jones fell together.
Yeah, I did not know that.
And I think they were tight, but probably, I know a few years before that, Jerry Jones, probably best friend on the team, he was a little older than him, was the great Lance Allworth. But Jones and Johnson, tight through the years, and Jones had always said, if I ever buy a team, you're going to be my coach. And he bought him and he got him. Jones, as a younger man, was this close, really close, to buying the San Diego Chargers from Baron Hilton Hotel family, Paris Hilton family as well. He almost bought them, and his dad, who had done really well, didn't want to take the financial risk to try to get them. He may have even made more money if he had gotten the Chargers at that time in the late 60s than he made off. He's done really well with the Cowboys.
He's done really well with the Cowboys.
Bought them for $150 million, and their going rate is what?
I don't even know.
4, 5, 6 billion.
He's
never selling.
No,
he's never selling. He would haunt his children and grandchildren throughout time from wherever he will be if they ever sold, and the tax liability if he ever sold. They're going to have to hang on to him. When we come back, we wrap up this day with Taco Bell Crunch Time. You're listening to Brett. You're listening to Bryant. You're listening to Sports 56 and 98.5.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When's the last time you played a Memphis City golf course? You will love what you see, I promise. If you have not played Galloway, Audubon, Fox Meadows, or Pine Hill lately, or the links at Whitehaven, you are in for a treat. With summer here, the grass is popped, the conditions are terrific, and this year Memphis City Golf is really concentrating on competition. If you love amateur competition, there will be a Galloway, Audubon, Fox Meadows, and Pine Hill Championship, all leading up to the Pub Links and the Hillman Robin. And ladies, you've got amateur championships too. And if you're a junior, the place to be is the Links at Whitehaven. There will be camps all summer long. Go to the website, moms and dads, if you would like to enter your child to learn from the pros how to play golf. And wait till you see the renovation at Overton Park. And soon there will be a redo at Pine Hill. Memphis City Golf, a sporting tradition for over 100 years.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town, open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2.25. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
With the help of Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond, I get everyone's morning started with a smile. It has a delicious and hearty combination of the Cheerios you love, whole grain oats, and sliced almonds for an extra crunchy crunch. That's how I set the rhythm for a great day. Look for Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond in your local grocery store.
If ever there was a time for comfort food, this is it. And there's no comfort food like Sunrise on Jefferson. Fresh-made breakfast featuring Sunrise's signature homemade square biscuits or the huge selection of hot, fresh, and fast lunch items are all part of what has always made Sunrise the most comforting of comfort foods in Memphis. Of course, everything that can be done to keep you and the staff safe at Sunrise is a top priority. And you can always order ahead and get delicious Sunrise to go. At a time this confusing, it's good to know there's one thing you can count on: Sunrise.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Waldo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Come on, Muhammad, then we hit fame. We beat you with the deal, we get insane. Hey, I heard you were a wild one. Took you home and be home.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. Brian, I learned today that there are a lot of young quarterbacks in the NFL that have to love the Josh Allen deal. Like we talked about yesterday, the money's not going down. It's the marketplace. You cannot like it. I'm afraid ticket prices might go up too because of it. The money isn't going down, and all of a sudden, a lot of people are going to get a big raise. The cap's going up. The money has to go up. They're making it faster than they can spend it in the NFL. What'd you learn today?
I learned today that LSU vaccinated their live mascot, Mike 7, of the COVID-19. And this is something we might start seeing around the country because if you remember back when all this started, the Brooklyn Zoo said that some of their animals were testing positive for COVID, and so they were able to give them the vaccine. So now LSU has done the same thing to vaccinate their tiger, so in case fans get too close, which I don't know how close, I don't know how LSU does, I don't know how close you can get to the actual tiger. I know Tom is at Memphis games. He's all protected, but
aren't they beautiful?
Oh, they're so beautiful.
So beautiful. I saw Mike in his habitat last year when we were down there in December, and just something. And he was really pacing that day. I don't know if he was mad or not. One person on our crew said it looks like he's got indigestion, and he was pacing around, and so beautiful to see, and to see him, to see Tom. So Mike's vaccinated. Come on, people. Let's all do this. Let's all do this. It will be better for everyone. Could have done without. Sounds like the college football playoff expansion is a lot on hold with all the realignment and expansion talk. It's lost some of that momentum that it had earlier in the summer to go to 12 teams. It's at least 3 more years contractually with just the 4 teams. They're going to play that all the way out, 21, 22, 23. You can get ready for that. ESPN holds all negotiating rights in that 3-year window. They're the only one they can negotiate with. I think they let that play out and then open it up to NBC, CBS, Fox, Apple, the streamers. So we're going to be a while at 4, and 4 is really copy and paste that preseason poll today.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. What I could have done without today, 2 quick things from the MLB. The first one is Fernando Tatis Jr. His shoulder seems like it might be a little more of a problem than people thought. They're talking about moving him to the outfield to protect that shoulder, which I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, I'm sure he'll play great in the outfield, but they have been working him out there, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. My second thing, have you seen this new, what's going to be on the menu at the Field of Dreams game?
I have not.
Guy Fieri, the celebrity chef, he has an apple pie hot dog that will be on.
I love apple pie and I like hot dogs. I don't know that I want them all mixed together.
I would hate to have them together, I think.
Speaking of Mike the Tiger and indigestion,
yeah,
it sounds like that all could stick right there. What else does he have?
That's the only thing they're saying. I think everything else is going to be regular concession food, but that is going to be on the menu or in the concessions for that Field of Dreams game.
Do you watch any of the cooking shows?
Okay, I am a huge Gordon Ramsay fan. I watch all of that.
Do you cook?
Kitchen, I do not. I can't get anywhere near the kitchen.
I love the cooking shows.
Yeah.
Another thing, I love the home and garden fix-it-up shows, and I cannot screw in a light bulb. But I love those guys that on a Saturday morning replace their septic tank for the heck of it. And I couldn't begin to do. I can't fix the toilet when it won't quit running. But I love the cookie shows. Yeah, I like Guy Fieri, but I don't know about mixing apple pie with hot dogs. I want the hot dog first and then the apple pie a little bit later with a little bit of ice cream on it like Jack Sammons was talking about last week. That was a good example. Keeping a close eye tonight on all the baseball, the big baseball schedule today. I can't stand those 7-inning games, but we got them and a lot better than last night's light schedule. The red-hot Phillies, Greg Gaston's red-hot Phillies at Citizens Bank Park tonight against the Dodgers. What a pitching matchup. Max Scherzer against Aaron Nola. Rays and Red Sox at Fenway. And an old National League West rivalry. Drew said this was the craziest thing that we used to have when the Braves were in the National League West and the big rivalry was against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Did you realize that? Once upon a time they were in the same division?
I did not realize that.
The Reds were in there with them. I'm telling you, Reds, Dodgers, Braves, that was about every single game when Ted Turner started the Superstation. They were on all the time. Also tonight, it will be Vandy's Sonny Gray against Arkansas's Drew Smiley.
Ooh.
How about the Giants? 30 games over 500 against Arizona. 30 over 500. What are you watching tonight?
I'll be keeping a close eye on Hard Knocks tonight. Episode 1 on HBO. It's with my Dallas Cowboys, so I'll be watching every second of it. I'm really excited. They said that they're going to focus more on the veterans this year. You know, usually it's the undrafted guys, and you see them get cut, and you see them trying to make the
drama,
team.
The reality show aspect.
But they said they're going to focus, and there's a lot to focus on with this Dallas team. We talked about Dak coming back from his injury and all that. Offensive line. And it'll be fun to see Micah Parsons, the first-round pick, C.D. Lamb, second-year guy. So this will be a fun Hard Knocks, I think. I'm a little biased because I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm looking forward to it.
Name the last team Micah Parsons played against.
The University of Memphis.
That's exactly right. And he was dominant that day. Could not
ridiculous.
block that cat, could they?
No.
Nobody could. And I said coming out of that game that he was a legitimate Heisman Trophy contender in 2020, but COVID and he made the right decision.
Right.
Not playing it down last year didn't hurt him.
No, it didn't hurt him at all.
I didn't know you were that big a Cowboy fan.
Oh, I love the Cowboys.
All-time favorite player.
See, I'm so young. You got to remember that.
Is it Tony Romo?
It's Tony Romo, which is sad.
He's got every passing record.
He does, but those late years, those last couple years, a little rough. I also like Dez Bryant just because his last name is my first name, so I've always liked that when I was young and watching him play. I was always like, oh, Dez Bryant's playing.
What about Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott?
I love those guys.
Could they knock off Tony Romo as favorite?
I think they could. I think C.D. Lamb. I think before he retires, I think he might be my favorite Cowboy just because I remember watching him when he was a freshman at Oklahoma, and I remember pointing him out, that guy, he's going to be good.
Well, and he would be a third great number 88.
Yeah.
Michael Irvin, and then Saturday night, Drew Pearson going in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Drew Pearson played high school football with Joe Theismann. Joe Theismann with a lot of Memphis ties, and then Drew Pearson played college at Tulsa, and it took too long for him to finally get in, but he got in. You could tell he really enjoyed that weekend. So that 88 holds up pretty big in Cowboy land. I'm going to have to go to Pro Football Ref and see who wore 88 for the Cowboys before Drew Pearson.
Yeah.
He made it so famous, and then Michael Irvin kept it going.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go and see. Tony Romo, all-time favorite.
Tony Romo or Jason Witten? It's one of those.
Well, Jason Witten's a good one. I'll go with that one. And tomorrow, he's not playing anymore, but Jason Witten's waltzing into Canton someday. Yeah. That's going to be easy. I think Tony Romo will get in eventually. It won't be soon.
No.
It'll be one of those waits. We had a lot of fun today. I want to thank Darryl Smith visiting with us in the run-up to the golf tournament and today with us. Great job this year with the tournament, Darryl, and everybody associated with our tournament. Brent Beard, thank you so much. Every Tuesday with him, every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, and we will do it again tomorrow. For Dave in his absence, and for Bryant, who was very present here today and so very good, I'm Brett. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
They've raised the bar again at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. I like to say this is the new standard, the way car business should be done. And to prove it, out of 355 dealers in America that sell Genesis cars, the one in Olive Branch, Genesis of Olive Branch, was top 50 in the country, top 10 in the region, and number 2 in the district. And guess what? They want to be number 1. That means there are opportunities out there for you. It's the safest, and every new latest bit of technology that makes the experience of driving a car better, they've got it at Genesis of Olive Branch. If we start with the G70, the highest performing car I've ever owned, all the way to the G80 or the G90, the biggest of the sedans, you'll love everything about the car. If you would like to try the new SUV, the GV80, you call Vinny Gerard at 662-890-6684. He will bring it out to you.
At Southern Airways, we fly to make your day.
Memphis's hometown airline, Southern Airways, is offering a sizzling summer deal. For this July only, flights from Memphis to Harrison-Branson, Hot Springs, and El Dorado, Arkansas have a promotional fare starting at just $19. Fly over the interstate traffic and bypass the bridge delays on one of Southern's flights to Arkansas. Catch a concert in El Dorado, hit the lake in Hot Springs, or fly to Harrison and make the easy drive to Branson or even to Fayetteville. Flying Southern is easy with no TSA screening hassles and free parking at Signature Flight Support. Don't forget, Southern service to Destin has returned for its 9th summer season. So if you're planning a trip to the Emerald Coast, visit iflysouthern.com to reserve your seats today.
At Southern Airways, we fly to make your day.
For the ones going above and beyond. For the ones reaching out, helping out, and lending a hand. For the ones people count on. You can count on Grainger. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, backed by 24/7 customer support and specialists to help with hard-to-find products. Because you've got everyone's back. We've got yours. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything! A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
I know the sweetest thing